Kiki Palmer, and I'm Seven.
Hey, what is up, fellow fanatics? What is up, fellow back of the bussers and all the mongers? It's Thursday, and it's Pantheon. It's the best stream that there is. Dre Mac, eat a dick. That's what Darius would say.
Yeah, I don't know if Darius is that acclimated to the beef, but yeah, what's going on, audience? How's it going? How's it going on this Thursday evening?
He'll be here in a bit. I don't know if he said he watched the Venom. I remember on his stream yesterday he was saying he would go check out Venom.
That's unfortunate.
You did not see Venom, so you cannot say that. It could be your favorite movie you've never watched.
It cannot be my favorite movie.
There's a good chance that it's a movie.
There's a 0.0% chance that film is anything interesting to me. But, well, you know what? I take that back. I actually take that back. About a 5% chance because they have Null.
Yeah, they have Null, the King in Black, and they even say so. I didn't care about this movie, so I went online, looked at a couple of spoilers. I wanted to know whether or not Spider-Man was in it. I found the answer, and let's not talk about it because you know the audience, they care about it. Zangbeta wants to know about Venom, and so does Brother Stark.
Okay.
Before we get to Venom, the superhero stuff, there's a movie trailer that popped up on our radar today. What's going on, Pam Entertainment TV? Hello. Everyone sub up to her channel. Before we do that, a good friend of ours, Issa Rae, you know, me and you, we go back with her. She's a great person, and she's behind this new movie. It's sort of like a Friday kind of.
It's exactly like Friday. Like I saw that. I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, that reminds me of something. I feel like I've seen this movie a bunch of times. And then somebody was like, Friday. I was like, oh, yeah, that's exactly what it is.
It's Friday with a twist. I'm going to decimate this trailer, but let's give it a view. All right. I'm SZA, I'm Kiki. And this is that this car it's run down. If this takes place in the current day, this isn't a 1990s car movie. This isn't very solid. You know, high status people. So I'm wondering, hey, what kind?
No, they broke. You can say it. They broke for sure. They're definitely broke.
And immediately I go, okay, because I'm always looking for. This is Issa Rae, right? Issa Rae, she'll definitely hold it down, and there's going to be some good aspects to this movie, and it's not just going to be the same tropes that we're used to, or what we think Hollywood would do. This is Issa Rae behind this movie. How we feel about a white person in the jungle? Issa, you should not put that in your script, Issa.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I'm gonna kind of let you cook on the trailer, and then we'll come together at the end.
I think I'll win you over. Again, there's just the differences between the black, white. Let's focus on that difference. Remember, everyone, these are different identities. For why can't I have the escapism? Like I've seen so much of this. But that's the neighborhood that they all live in, okay? And we know historically the January month isn't the one that this is the movies that you expect much from.
You paid the rent, right?
They're super broke. They're not making ends meet. They can't figure things out. What will they have to do for money? I don't want to see that. I don't want to associate dark melanated skin with that aspect.
Real alopecious today.
Do you have the rent?
And you can clearly hear from his voice that he's of some African descendancy. Like he's this stokes that flames of there's the FBA and then there's the black people who come from. Then they think they're so much better because they're actually from the motherland. And that's what that scene in that trailer furthered. Let's keep going.
The rent.
Boyfriend took the rent money and he dipped. We every day we hop on Twitter, we see that. I know that Marcus, you've told me before that it's bots. You know, in the real world. Everyone's getting along. There's no black female, black male divide. I know you've told me that before, and I believe that. It shouldn't be in this movie, but hey, man, ain't shit. An angry black woman trope, by the way. Look at she just did a fish tank, the innocent fish tank. Credits written by Sarita Singleton and Lawrence Lamont. I think I recognize the name Lawrence Lamont. I'll look it up.
So what's Issa's connection? Is she just funding it? Is she a producer?
It said produced by Issa Rae. Yeah,
producer. Okay. Yeah, so I hear you on some of the tropey stuff, right? Like that's definitely there. for the comparison to what the movie is supposed to be, I think it is meant to be a satirical comedy in some way, shape, or form, and so that is still shades of Friday and some other films that we could probably remember. But I guess my issues with a lot of this sometimes is that there's usually no balance. Right, there's no balance of perspective. There's no balance of outcome. There's no balance of intelligence. There is no offset to the kind of standardized what you would expect to see in this type of movie, right? So with Issa Rae as a creator, she's probably the least of that ilk, right? That does that. I think she's kind of earned some leeway. If she says she's going to make a Friday type movie, I would expect it to kind of look like this, right? Because I mean, it's not that different from how Craig and Day were set up, or Craig and Smokey. Craig and Smokey was living out of their parents' houses as grown ass men. So they were just as broke, just as destitute, dealing with the same type of tropes. The problem is that that was like 30 years ago.
Thank you. And since the last 30 years, where's the balance?
That was like 30 years ago. So
the balance here is there was a male one, the balance. Now there's a female Friday. See?
Correct. And so in that way, I guess we can meet up on the criticism. I do think there are more creative ways. Now, again, she's funding this. She's not writing it. She's not directing it. She gave them the money to make a project. Now she obviously has to believe in it.
I wouldn't say
she's not directly involved.
I'd say she's producing it and it's a Sony movie, but does that mean funding it? I don't know if that's the case.
I would imagine that her production company is involved, and that's the producer credit that she received. So she's in some way adding to the production of the movie, but she's not pinning it. She's not directing it. It's not her eyeball that's directly going into making it. It's more so how Jordan Peele has attached his name onto a bunch of projects in Hollywood, TV, and major screen that he didn't actually make or have all that much involvement in pinning, but he got a producer credit because his company was involved. So while I do hold some of that to her esteem, I don't expect it to be a direct reflection on her. Now, the movie itself, I'm gonna do it like any other project. If I sat up there and I watched Madam Web, then I'm gonna watch this and judge it for what it is. If it's crap, if it's Tyler Perry fan fiction, then I'll treat it as such. If it is a good movie that mixes in real world circumstances, because I mean, you have to imagine. You mentioned the white girl moving into the jungle. Okay, I think on face value that sounds crazy. If that area is called the jungle though, and that's how they refer to their home, I mean that's what they're going to call it.
There's literally a neighborhood in Toronto called Jungle.
See, there you go. So you understand it. And then also the prospect of her moving into a place like that and being a sore thumb as a white person sticking out is becoming more and more of a reality, because the divides between, lower middle class white America and upper to middle class Black America are really shrinking. They are moving into those areas, be it, higher educated, younger white Americans into those areas because they can afford to live there and maybe buy some property. So it's not so out of thumb to see a white person living in these areas because it's advantageous for them to do so. It's advantageous for them to own there. So it's not so out of place in the context of what's happening in a lot of Black neighborhoods across the country. So yes, on face value, there are a lot of things that you can kind of turn your nose to and look at and say, all right, maybe this isn't exactly where we need to go. There is still a lot of real world aspects that play into what they are writing. And who am I to tell the creator if this is your reality, if this is your truth, to go another way? I just hope that there's, again, enough balance to keep the story coherent and it's not just all that,
It's still, I don't got to see the movie. Like what you're selling the movie on, more people will see the trailer than will actually see a film. That's just how it always will be. And
it's rocket power. Understanding.
You got to get yourself one of these.
Yeah, nah.
You can cancel all the movies you want. Balance. You'll be like, no Doctor Strange, no new Ant-Man. I'll watch it. Nothing really made me laugh.
That was another thing too. I think the more criticizable thing about it is that I don't know if SZA and Keke Palmer's chemistry is anything like an Ice Cube and Mike Epps or an Ice Cube and Smokey. It just doesn't. They don't bounce off. At least in the trailer, they don't seem to bounce off each other with the same way.
No, even the idea of let's get the shoes and then we get electrically shocked, which you can see coming a mile away.
Yeah,
And then she drops on her. That's not funny. It's not. I don't know. There was too much build up to it.
yeah.
And that's the joke that you're leaning on to put in the trailer. And now if that happens in the movie amongst like 30 jokes, like I'm fine with that one joke.
All right.
Tony, it would be more interesting if it was about two women trying to start a business from the group up. It's the opposite. She one of them wants to start a business, the other one wants to get that corporate job. So you kind of get what you're asking.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't know if there's nothing else to it. Maybe that works as a television show. I don't know. Like, is there a shadowy figure trying to keep the business from happening? Is there some kind of antagonist on the other side? Yeah. I mean, because it is what it is. If you're making an action comedy, a satirical comedy, you kind of need that flattened out. I'm poor. I need to get money. Somebody got kidnapped. We need to get them back. We need to move out and find a new place to live. We need to find a job. You know what I'm saying? It's like those very flattened out, relatable situations that people they can easily step themselves into. So now you can relax and laugh, right? That kind of is the gateway into those type of comedies. Entrepreneurship is not necessarily the door for everyone, at least how contrary to how our most recent society or generation must think it is. Starting a business is not everyone's dream, so I don't think that's as big as a net.
Don't let Dame Dash hear you say that.
I guess. Yeah, apparently.
Tony Robinson, which, by the way, on YouTube now, if you say a person's name, their profile will show up. So you guys were talking about Tony Robinson, and there's actually like a celebrity named Tony Robinson whose face was on the bottom of your description on behind the cape. I feel Keke would play off better with a comedian, 100%. Well, the last movie I saw Keke in was Don't Look Up. It was with Daniel Kaluuya.
Yeah. Yep, the Jordan Peele joint. Yep,
that one.
Nope.
That was it. Last thing I seen Issa Rae in was this guy. It was an American Fiction. Do you remember this scene?
You're in my brain. I literally looked up the name of this film while you were playing the trailer. You're in my brain because it made me think of this conversation they were having.
And Issa Rae was not acting because what he would. Oh, okay. Backstory. If anyone didn't watch American Fiction, the writer or Jeffrey Wright over here, he wrote a book, and he just was like, you know what? I'm gonna put every filthy, nasty stereotype inside this book, and guess what? People liked it, and they were like, we gotta put the author on get him awards and everything. And Issa Rae, she also has a book with tropes, but unlike him, she's doing it from a place of like, this is authentic.
This is my experience. Yep.
And it was interesting for me to hear. Now I side completely with Jeffrey Wright, but I want to play that scene. I just know it's a movie scene, and they'll flag it. So I'll like pause it, and I'll have the closed captions up before Darius stops me. It's a 3-minute clip. I'm not going to play all 3.
Sure.
What about did you find pandering?
Oh, I can't really put my finger on it, but it's not different from some of what's out there, but it just felt soulless is the word I'm going to use. You said you agreed, right?
I do. I think it seems written to satisfy the tastes of guilt-ridden white people.
Yeah, the kind of book critics call important and necessary, but not well written.
Exactly. Don't take offense at this, but how is so very different from your book?
But he just said, how is the F word? That's the way he titled his book, right? Because he was having fun with it. How was it different than your book? And this is exactly Issa Rae's pitch for the movie we just saw a trailer we just watched. What was the movie even called?
I feel like you being a little strong because you're ignoring Issa's resume. You're ignoring her track record. Like, what made you watch Issa Rae in the first place to even get you to a point of fandom for her?
Yeah, the Insecure show, the YouTube stuff,
Mhm.
her personality off of YouTube, off of movies. I've seen her in interviews represent well. But then there's
So
things
damn. I'm just saying, play her response. Go ahead and play her and then I'll respond. Go ahead.
I want to just add Race Swap Barbie with
Yeah.
the mayor,
Yeah,
Race
yeah,
Swap
yeah.
Jessica Drew in Spider-Verse. These are also things I don't align with. Now that doesn't ruin her. It's just like she's not flawless. Is all I'm saying.
Sure.
Is that what this is about? You think my book's trash?
No, to be honest, I haven't read your book. I've read excerpts, and it didn't seem so dissimilar.
I did a lot of research for my book. Some of it was actually taken from real interviews. Maybe you've been up in your ivory tower of academia for so long, you've forgotten that some people's lives are hard.
Your life? You went to an exclusive bohemian college. You had a job at a fancy publishing house in New York.
So what? I don't need to write about my life. I write about what interests people.
You write what interests white publishers fiending Black trauma porn.
They're the one buying the manuscripts. Is it bad to cater to their tastes?
If you're okay feeding people's base desires for profit,
I'm okay with giving the market what it wants.
that's how drug dealers excuse themselves.
And I think drugs should be legal.
That's how Tyler Perry excuses himself. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I don't think that this person that she's playing is who she's in real life.
Yeah,
But
now that I watch it again, yeah.
The first part of what she said was the most pertinent, right? Is that she's able to clock his book that he intentionally wrote to be horseshit. He wrote it to be trash, right? And she clocked it accurately because it wasn't honest. It didn't come from an honest place. He was writing what he felt was feeding those white publishers, what he felt was going to feed the white audience that would eat this up and cheer it on, right? And she was able to clock it. Although he could not accurately ascertain where her work came from because he didn't give it a fair shake. He categorized it the minute he heard a little bit of AAVE, excuse me, Ebonics, or something that sounded out of place culturally. Drugs, weapons, sex, money, anything dealing with that. And Black people, now all of a sudden, the guard is up. It is not that you cannot tell those stories. It's not that those stories aren't real, but it should be told with some level of care and honesty. But you'll never know if it is if you don't read it and you put it in a box before you ever get a chance to digest it. That man was critiquing her work without ever even reading it. Now, how many times do we get up here and talk about the film critics that are raving online, or not film critics? You can't even call them that. The people in comments that rave about projects that they don't even watch, right? With unfounded opinions. It's the same thing. He walked in that door ready to criticize her about work that he hadn't even done.
Let's talk about the writer of this film. It was Singleton was her last name. Maybe I'm jumping and I'm assuming that this is John Singleton's daughter. If it's not, then discredit everything I'm saying. Her life is not this. Her life is not a Friday episode. She didn't come up that way.
Mm-hmm.
Who
are we talking about? Issa Rae?
The writer of this
movie. The writer. No. Right. She acknowledged that. Like, yeah, she is actually shoveling like people's actual trauma, but at the same time, at least she's getting it from the source. She's not making it up haphazardly like Jeffrey Wright's character did.
Fine. Let's finish it up.
It's an interesting argument.
I'm not really arguing with you. I'm just hearing you out.
No. The movie, bro. The movie.
Oh, yeah.
But you're not fed up with it. Black people in poverty, Black people rapping, Black people as slaves, Black people murdered by the police, whole soaring narratives about
Okay.
Black folks in dire circumstances who still manage to maintain their dignity before they die. I mean, I'm not saying these things aren't real, but we're also more than this. And it's like so many writers like you can't envision us without some white boot on our necks.
Do you get angry at Bret Easton Ellis or Charles Bukowski for writing about the downtrodden? Or is your ire strictly reserved for Black women?
Nobody reads
Man.
Bukowski thinking his is the definitive white.
That was a bit of an out, but it is the
White
same
people
thing. Like
read your book.
nobody
it's fine.
cares when you've made the 100th Holocaust film. Nobody cares when you've made another movie about Italian immigrants making their way into the country. Everybody else is allowed to tell the story of their struggle. It just so happens that our struggle involves drugs, it involves slavery, it involves confrontations with police, whether founded or unfounded. That is part of our history in this country. So it begins to be a double-edged sword where, yeah, as Black people, that isn't what we always want to see when we're trying to see ourselves on the big screen. But at the same time, then there is this other crowd that wants you to not tell those stories ever. They want it to fall by the wayside so that we can't reintroduce it into the zeitgeist, into the consciousness of people. And I do think that is important. So it's a balancing act, man. I see where both of them are coming outside of the, oh, that's what they want conversation. That was horseshit. Everything else, I see where they're both coming from. I feel both of their angst. Because on one side, it's like, how can you commit to not telling those stories? And on the other side, it's like, well, damn, man, how many of those do we need? So it's
Yeah, I can always point to watch this slave movie, you're covered. Watch this gang movie, and like we have them all.
yeah, that may not work for the next generation, though. There are plenty of movies that probably could have taught me a thing or two that I learned in The Wire or learned in Snowfall or any other, television shows that preceded it. I probably could have learned about that years earlier if I'd have just listened to the OGs that was telling me to listen to other stuff.
Sorry, my mouse froze. I'm sorry.
The definitive
No,
white
good.
experience, but white people read your book and confine us to it. They think that we're all like that.
Then it sounds like your issue is with white people, Monk, not me.
I so disagree with that.
Yeah, I
Maybe
disagree as well.
also think that I see the unrealized potential of Black people in this country.
Potential is what people see when they think what's in front of them isn't good enough.
See, like the first thing
That's
she said, was like, "Oh, it's about Black women something," and then the next thing she goes with, "Oh, potential. Okay, well, I know how to take care of this word here. If I break it down, it just means you don't see what's in front of you. Like, just shut up. Take accountability for your work."
Yeah, no, I mean, at a certain level, you got to realize that you're shoveling shit, and that's why I can't totally give creators like that a pass, even though it's popular. At the same time, there are people, certain creators that I trust to give me that story. John Singleton, rest his soul, was one that I intrinsically trust to bring about any Black story in America, from the crack epidemic to coming home from Vietnam and not receiving, or multiple wars and not receiving GI bills, or any of the number of the fallout of the crack epidemic and boys in the hood, right? Like I trust John Singleton to talk about that any day, anytime he wants to pick up that torch and go down that alleyway, because he has an attention to detail. He's a balanced storyteller. Spike Lee is another one that I would let handle that, right? Like I cannot tell that man not to tell a story about Black struggle, because I trust them with that story. There are others that I don't trust that much.
Ryan Coogler.
Mm.
Who's the woman who did Love and Basketball and Woman King? That's something.
No, I'm gonna look it up now.
So she's someone. Are you talking, Darius? No, you're not talking.
I was talking to T'Challa. Sorry.
T'Challa.
Jean. Brother Stark beat you to it. Gina Blythewood.
Gina Blythewood. Okay. Yeah. I liked Love and Basketball. Woman King was okay.
Ava DuVernay.
When she's not doing sci-fi.
Oh, it's got to be science. It has to be
Like,
nonfiction.
stay her away from sci-fi. Yeah.
Not a big Naomi fan, huh?
Or A Wrinkle in Time.
Mm.
We had 2 at bats. I think that's just not her thing.
It wasn't made for you.
But if she has if there's a docu-series, if there's a movie about real life events, I absolutely.
Yeah, she nailed it. Remember the scene with Colin Kaepernick, and they made it look like it was a slave auction, and then the Jerry Jones video where Jamie Foxx was live streaming, and he started talking about his piece in a vulgar way. Like,
yeah,
you do see him as property. Like, this is totally they nailed it.
Yeah.
I need some apologies.
Shout out to Antoine Fuqua. Yeah,
Equalizer.
Yes, sir. For sure. In a heartbeat. Anything he wants to write.
Doing the Michael Jackson movie.
Nice.
I get the Tyler Perry critiques. I agree. But for me, he'll always be one of my favorites because of those early works. The movies and plays were iconic. Like, I saw myself and my family in those plays.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know why? We all connected to him, Raymond, because again, he was telling bits of our stories in those plays in a lot of those early films. But it became to be more of a conveyor belt, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me churn out this stereotypical Black story. Like I yes, I would run to my grandmother's house if I got into some trouble, right? But I wouldn't expect my grandmother to go on a high-speed chase during a Halloween movie. I wouldn't expect my grandmother to pull a 45 out of her purse every time she has a disagreement. You know, I just that type of shit wears old when there's never any character advancement. Like, they stay in the same place they started in. It was just not good.
Live chat, keep naming the names while we're here. I have one in Malcolm Spellman, the writer of Falcon and Winter Soldier. He's going to be writing Brave New World. There was a great scene in Falcon Winter Soldier, episode 6. The old man says, "Oh, that's the Black Falcon, I tell you." And then here comes a younger boy, and he goes, "No, that's Captain America." And now I get it. Malcolm Spellman wrote that in there to show there's 2 versions of 2 types of people. Some people actually like that he's donning the apparel of Cap, but
Yeah.
I like the old man because he was so proud of the Falcon being up top, and he loved that branding, and he didn't make us choose. And I heard Malcolm Spellman say in an interview afterwards. Now, Isaiah, he actually never does kind of call him Cap and agree. Like, he still does disagree with him all the way through. So we never said that he's wrong. And I'm like, yeah, good job, Malcolm.
Yeah, I tried to give Malcolm some leeway. I did not like the way he summed up all of that in the final episode. He was having these very deep conversations about Black men in the military, and what they come home to, the conditions that they deal with. Even, a Black man in the military as high as Sam Wilson can't come home and get a business loan. So, like, they were planting the seeds for these very deep conversations about racism and classism. And then when it was time to tie it all up in that final scene where he was yelling at the senators, it was like this weird ass word salad where, like, he wanted to say something that was like very anti-establishment and pro the people, but then, like, it felt like they were trying to stop him from being too revolutionary. It felt very safe. It's so much so that it didn't end up making sense. I think everybody looked at it and was like, what the hell is he babbling about? You got to do better, Senator. At what? Particularly, it's a long laundry list.
You mean you can feed someone with a phone call, or with an email you can solve a disease?
Yeah, no, fam. Like, it landed flat, especially because of the conversation of that scene you were talking about earlier with the Black Falcon or the Captain America, or even the conversations he was having with Isaiah. That stuff was powerful. He left it to the wayside so that he didn't make people uncomfortable. and that's always a bad sign for me.
See, that was
The only
editing.
scene that
was
I
made
really
more.
thought he really touched on the uncomfortability was the police scene. I like that scene because it's accurate to our lives. I mean, that is, and a lot of people on Twitter didn't like that scene because they were like, oh, why are we putting this in the, well, truth hurts. That's really our lives though. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've been stopped for being black. I mean,
No,
you
but then
guys
the-
can't, you guys know.
But then there's the extra touch of, oh, I didn't recognize you. Now we're good. See, because
Yeah,
if I did it, right. Why didn't he tell us he was a
Right.
Miami Dolphin?
Exactly. There you go.
Oh, look, they named a couple in here. Ava believes caste is a bigger issue than racism. She no longer has my trust.
yeah.
Dr. Manhattan also with the Ava DuVernay love. Matthew Cherry. He did
Not familiar.
2019's Academy Award winning short film Hair Love. Ah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar.
It's cool. But he hasn't done anything since then. Unless he has, and you can tell me, Raymond, if he has. Tyler Perry, new films feel like drawn out skits with Instagram actors. He did a superhero.
I told you I've been watching the Cinema Pals or Cinepals, whatever it is. I've been watching them react to a lot of different black films, and they're going through the Tyler Perry films and a couple other black films. They watch Don't Be a Menace. They also watched anyway, so they just watch, I guess, Madea Goes to Jail. I haven't watched them watch that yet, but I agree with that. What Tony said. I watched them watch, and I had never seen Boo because I haven't watched Madea new shit. I can't tell you. I can't tell you the last like new thing I really saw that Tyler Perry did, but I saw for the first time Boo when they watched it. There's a reason I never saw Boo. And it's just like, because Tyler Perry started a certain way, like you both just said, like Raymond said, Mike Marcus said, where we all, could see aspects of our lives in those plays and movies. But now it's gotten to not just stereotypical, but it's also gotten cheesy and corny. And it's just like, I don't, remember there was a one point in time where Madea didn't really even cuss. Now Madea saying bitch and all. That was first when Madea said bitch and boo. I said, oh shit. I said, what? It's just different. It's a different. I didn't even find Boo funny like some people find it funny. Some people are like, oh, you're really gonna like that one.
On top of that, the biggest issue that I had, other than him dressing up like a woman and trying to like own the right to telling a woman's story, because again, nobody writes with Tyler Perry. He's writing these stories for women, and yet there's no woman involved in the creating of the projects ever. I mean, he has a whole roster of women's television shows on BET right now, and there ain't a woman writer in sight. Like, why nobody thinks that's weird for a heterosexual man to be so ironclad about writing his own shit that he will specifically write shows for women, but never involve women in the process at all, as if he knows the female experience better than them. There's something off about that. But the thing that really messed me up about the Madea character is that like we have to remind ourselves, a Madea is your grandmother. She's the matriarchal figure of your family. She is the pinnacle, right? In most families, she's a big mama. She is to be held to the highest of esteem. In no way, shape, or form is Tyler Perry paying homage or respect to his grandmother with this caricature. This caricature. I don't know why that didn't come out for the first time. It's really nasty work. And then to know on top of that, you're selling it to a white audience. So now you are training white audiences to see a figure like that in the family and devalue it. Because that's not how they treat their grandmothers. They wouldn't let their grandmothers go out here and tow rifles and chase people up the street and go on high-speed chases and speak like that and do all the kind of stuff that she does. So I just hate when we talk about the visuals that you're sending and the tropes that you lean on to sell product. I will run Tyler Perry through the mud 100 times before I ever say something about Issa Rae, because it's been proven.
Lena Waithe has a beautiful directing style in The Shy.
I like Lena. I like Lena.
Raymond just Googled the list. Come on, who you fooling? Like he's just coming with all the names like that and like that. He's done who's he? He's done episodes of Bel Air and I think Insecure. I don't know who that is. So I'm just gonna ignore the fact that while I'm googling stuff, I found out John Singleton is dead. Yeah, a couple years ago now.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Rest his soul.
Hold on, I'm gonna need a moment. Why did I not know that? I don't know. Is he hetero though? I don't want to do that.
Well, let somebody else say it.
Atlanta did a parody of Tyler Perry in the 4th season. Aaron Magruder did Boondocks.
Yep.
That episode
Robin.
can only be watched if you watch it on HBO Max because it is not available anywhere else.
Tyler's
Tyler.
adding
Tyler got rid of that shit. Sorry.
Tyler's adding female writers to his shows. His sister's show BET.
Oh, did he? Good for him. Good for him. Looks like the criticism finally caught up with him. I'm not following the man's career, so if I've said anything that is no longer relevant, let me know. I haven't seen Sisters though. How is it going?
Robin's watching it. Robin's liking it. Robin vouches for it.
I don't think I've watched a Tyler Perry show since House of Pain, maybe.
Yeah, it's got to been like Meet the Browns or something like that.
Yeah, I don't even think I really even watched Meet the Browns like that. That one seemed really cheesy to me. But House of Pain at one point in time, really gripped on, especially when when Janine was going through that crack shit week to week. Yeah, Tyler had it at one point in time, but I haven't seen anything in a long time that Tyler's done.
I loved House of Pain. Hey, we're 40 minutes into this. You want to get into the next topic? What you want? You guys want to do the Skeleton Crew pictures? We'll do that really quickly just because we got to save up on time. Earlier this week, the Star Wars website, wrong screen, the Star Wars website posted and deleted quickly a couple of these photos. These are from the series. You can see we never saw this scene. We never saw where they were. Like, we know that they were lost, right? We know that they're in their little home planet and they're all friendly and chummy. But wherever they are in a civilized place. Is this Peridia? Is this that other galaxy? Because now that changes how I think of the other galaxy. Because there are humanoid people who are here walking and talking. And it's not the other galaxy to me was like an abstract thing where it was only like crabs and there wasn't really real life there. If they are lost in galaxy number 2, Peridia, this does reveal a lot, and it's probably why they deleted it so quickly.
Okay.
Star Wars guy.
This is my first time seeing these images. This is my first time seeing anything about this. So what is this? Images. Can you full screen it? What is this? Images of that you said Star Wars put out, then deleted, of Skeleten Crew.
I'm not really getting nothing. I'm not seeing anything of. Well, I mean, maybe this, I guess, but this just looks like he's in the forest or something.
It looks like typical pictures from Disney Star Wars. Desert.
Yeah, what are we giving up here?
So you think that they deleted it to make it a news story?
Well, no,
When did
maybe
they
they
delete?
legitimately thought that they were giving something up, but just being overcautious. I don't know. I'm not really seeing.
This is something. All these
Who is
dots in
that?
the sky.
They look like
I
Lil
don't
Real.
know.
That
I
ain't Lil
don't
Real.
know.
That looks like Lil Real.
Brother Stark said, "What if Skeleten Crew is better than Acolyte?" I mean, it's not a.
If it doesn't
High
clear
bar
that
to-
bar, it will be historically bad. Yeah, let's expect for Skeleten Crew to clear Acolyte, like just off the top.
Yeah, if it doesn't, then there needs to be some firings at Lucasfilm.
That first image is probably the most telling. There's talk that Max Rebo, whatever species, Darius, what species is he supposed to be?
I forget what he's called. God, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm distracted by what looks like Lake Thunderbird that they're at here in Oklahoma. Nothing that Disney does with Star Wars looks like a different planet to me. It's always just like desert, rocks. We'll throw some shrubs in there, sure.
Nothing
know,
ever
let me
looks
see.
different. You're right. It's like the same plants grow on every planet.
Yeah, bro. It's like desert,
Yeah, good point.
more desert. Let's go to a different galaxy. Oh, here's a desert that Ezra's in with some fucking turtles. He's an Ortland.
So an Ortland is known not to have hair on his head, but this little elephant creature does have hair on his head. So it's possible that it's a whole nother species, and we should have a different mindset of what it is capable of doing. To be honest, they'd probably just put hair on the thing because everything is stationary and motionless. At least when we have hair, something is moving as he's running around and emoting.
I like I will say this. I do like the practical effects with it. It looks really cool. I like the different species that we're going to get to see. I'm just throwing positives right now. I want to be positive because I've got some negatives later in the stream. So I want to be positive. I've seen some bounty hunters that look dope. The newest Black Series stuff they released for Skeleton Crew of the bounty hunters looks cool. I mean, if this does somehow connect or does connect, I'm sure it does, to whatever they're telling currently in the Baloney verse, I will be here to see it. I mean, right now, like I said, nothing that Lucasfilm or Disney has done since taking over the IP has made me hate Star Wars. I may not like what they've done with their projects since owning Star Wars, but I don't feel any different when I go back and watch episodes 4, 5, and 6, or 1, 2, 3, or Clone Wars. I still love Star Wars. I still have the same experience. So going into this, I'm going into this the same way I went into Agatha. I have zero expectations. I'm just here for the ride. And if I like shit on the way on that ride, hey, that's fun. I might tweet about it. But that's about it right now. I have no expectations for it.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about it.
No thoughts.
Next up, we got Iyanu, Child of Wonder. All right, everyone. New York Comic Con was great. We saw a whole lot of comic books get announced and some movie stuff. We know that the Brazil Comic Con coming up, or Disney Plus convention is coming up. Disney's probably going to release, their next little slate. Everything they didn't tell us about back in August, this is it. But Cartoon Network and Max found this little Nigerian company called Unique Studios and said, we're going to adapt your comic book. I think the writer's strike and actors strike happening here on the West forced them to seek out cheaper alternative forms of entertainment. And they got creative. And thankfully, Iyanu, the Child of Wonder, is going to make it on our screens. It'll be a television series. I don't remember how many episodes they said there it would be, but it is coming in the spring of 2025. Have you seen the trailers? Darius has not. We're seeing the trailers. In the live chat, tell me your excitement level of Iyanu, Child of Wonder. I am not overhyping it when I say this is Avatar. This is next. This thing has the potential. The animation style is wicked. The storytelling is rich. The requirements, everything we just complained about in the first part of this live stream, all those things are not missing. We have it all. We have friendship. We have great hairstyles, a variety of skin tone. It's killing it on all fronts. And Iyanu, Child of Wonder in spring is gonna heal Darius's coughing. It's gonna be amazing. I gotta pull it up.
Yeah, I haven't seen the trailer, so I am interested to see it. Avatar-like. That is big. I love Avatar, one of my favorite shows, animated shows. So, no, I hadn't seen this before you mentioned it in the chat today.
It's a 5 days old, this sneak peek.
Of great It was foretold by our ancestors that in times of great conflict, there will be the chosen, who will rise to restore harmony to the people and creatures of Yoruba land.
That's what I mean. The Chosen is basically the Avatar.
Thank you, B.
For?
Finally heading in a new direction. The sun and wind are my compass. You live here?
Yes, I sleep on the statue.
Really?
No,
Oh.
these are remnants of the Age of Wonders. My eldest passed many stories to me. The one that caught my interest was how our entire history was wiped away during the Divine Wars 500 years ago. Now, all that's left from the war are the big walls that keep Yoruba land separated. Secrets of our past further lost because our people cannot unite.
Like the secrets kept by Diagoni.
Yes, as they've vanished, so have the reminders of how great we used to be.
How do you know so much about our history?
Cleanse the corrupt. The Creator knows not what it does.
That voice.
Cleanse.
What are you doing? Oh!
See that mystery? Why are things lighting up? Cleanse it. Cleanse it. It's basically like Obi-Wan saying use the Force.
You? You are the chosen!
Come on, man. I'm hooked.
Many who call themselves chosen have come through here, peddling false wonders.
I never claimed to be anything. I am the chosen.
You got confidence. Lion Forge Entertainment.
Lion
Did you
Forge.
catch
Nice.
the fighting, the backflipping, the acrobatic? Like, look at that stuff, man. How you mad
And
at?
she's already so young too, so you feel like this is a series that has a chance to kind of grow. You know, I like a lot of this.
Wakanda forever. No. You know what though? Chadwick said that he got this from some culture, so anyone can do it. It's not Wakanda forever. It's
Nah,
whatever.
it's fun.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad.
You know
No
what this tells
Avatar.
me?
Darius is ready to shit on it. You hyped it up like it was Avatar. It is Avatar.
It's funny because more so than Avatar, what this tells me is that other studios are attacking the void that's kind of open by Black Panther. Like this is so we got Iyanu, then we had there was something else that was going on here. Not the Disney one, but there was like another
Superhero Squad.
Yeah. Of course, we got Disney with My Dad Bounty Hunter, right? And how that backstory spun into basically an intergalactic Wakanda. You got I'm drawing a blank on the other one I was thinking about, but there are other studios trying to fill that gap of Black Afrocentrism that Disney had a 5-year head start on, because nobody was doing it in 2018. 6-year head start. Sorry, forgot what year we ran. Nobody was doing it in 2018, and now Cartoon Network, a studio, just shut down their website, found a way to acquire this, and I guarantee you, as long as it's running in a time slot, in a pocket in terms of a season, that it doesn't have to compete with Invincible or any other graphic cartoon that adults and kids are kind of watching, it's going to do well. It's going to do well. It's going to do exceedingly well.
I'm very picky on animation. Like I'm weird on animation.
I swear to God, something happened to Darius's live connection. He was about to say really nice things about this show, and unfortunately, his connection went out. See, Darius. Hope you enjoy Blade.
While I'm sitting here fucking saying what I was saying, you know what? I should shit on it. I should shit on it.
That's hilarious.
Go ahead. Your truth, your unfiltered opinion. Let's hear it.
I'm just picky on animation. It doesn't look.
It's
not.
You don't like animation?
No, I love animation. I just I'm picky on that type of style. It looks more like, and I get it. It's their first time, first whatever time bringing the comic to life. But like it looks like more like Dragon Tail-y, like the animation, like a PBS morning show. Which again, that's not a bad thing. I like God. What's that show I tried to watch? Because Marcus, you and I think I don't remember who was talking. I forget who we had him on. Oh, please forgive me if you're watching. There's so many names. Y'all were talking about Twilight of the Gods animation.
Oh, yeah.
I could not get past that animation.
It's weird. So for me, when I'm looking at especially like action animation stuff, it's more so the movements than the stills. So like a lot of Zack Snyder's stuff in Twilight of the Gods, the still stuff was really hard to look at. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't. It
was
the
you
best.
and MoFly that was talking. My fault. Yeah.
MoFly. Yep. Shout out to him. But the action stuff, the battle scenes, the Thor battle scenes, it's hard to put up stuff that's better than that. It was really, really, really good. Now, when they were standing, talking, all that other stuff, it just didn't really do it for me. But the more important part, when they was actually smashing stuff, that looked pretty good.
Marcus, did you say you didn't like Blue-Eyed Samurai?
Loved it.
Okay, who is that told me they didn't like that?
Loved it.
Most people say they like it. This show here, Super Team's Superhero 5, or what was it called? Super Team 4. Is this the one you were thinking about?
No.
Oh, well, but it's another one.
It's another one. Yeah, it's another one. Yep.
I think it's in Lagos, Nigeria. I think.
There's a void there.
Black Sands, is that still going on? I'm late coming on. We didn't talk about Black Sands, but it's happening. He's always doing a video about how he's funding the new anime. It's getting there, and so he's gonna have an animated version of his comic book also. Black Sands, look out for it. Let's see. Children of Blood and Bone is being adapted. It's a popular young adult story based on Nigerian deities too.
Nice.
So that hole is being fixed.
Yep.
PBS Arthur vibes. I get it. Is that just because it's 2D?
I think a little bit of the audio, like a little bit of the voice acting, made it sound a little bit younger. Very, very. It was very Saturday morning cartoons. Unfortunately, or fortunately, a lot of my favorite animation was born out of that era. So, I'm gonna give it a little bit of a chance.
I think X-Men 97. It's 2D, and we like it.
No, I love 2D. I would love Disney to go back to some of those 2D. Like I was watching Oliver and Company the other day, bro. I miss that shit. Like
now,
2D,
the Disney Animation Studio, there's absolutely no excuse for them not doing 2D. Every animated film you make does not need to be in 3D animation because there comes a certain point where you can't differentiate. It can only look so different over so many titles. Like we're 20 years down the line, and like characters, extras in the Incredibles look like extras in Soul. So it's like
right.
You gotta,
see, and I think one of the biggest things about the 2D is it's just way more expensive because you're having to have them literally draw it out.
You got to hire actual artists, not
exactly. And they just don't do. And I miss 2D. I love 2D animation. I think some of the best animated movies are 2D.
I see Raymond's comments, and I'll just say, so what? Like, it's best not to.
What we got?
Don't worry about Raymond's comment. We're not gonna put a spotlight on it. Planet Fanatics. Have y'all ever talked about Spawn or Al Simmons?
We have not. We have not.
What's going on with Spawn?
I know there's that rumored.
Wasn't Jamie Foxx supposed to be making a Spawn movie? Is that what they're talking about?
Film. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We'll talk about it when the trailer happens. But
Yeah, I'm about to say, when there's news about it, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we haven't.
I know you see me. I know what you said, but I don't want to spotlight that. We hope for the best, and we hope that if Black Sands Entertainment takes off and it's huge, and who cares about little minor attitude things on the side? Who cares? It's about the success of the brand and the benefit that the representation will provide. I don't want to be a hindrance towards it.
Let's hope he didn't go to any Diddy parties since he just hitching us to his wagon.
Did you see when he was on Shark Tank and he pitched to Kevin Hart?
No,
yeah,
hell no. I didn't know he made it on the Shark Tank. No, I didn't know that.
Black Sands. So his comic book, it got like the most exposure out of that. And
I'm kind of interested to know what the problematic stuff is now. I'm not gonna lie to you, but
it's just,
we'll
it's just TikTok videos. He's boisterous on TikTok.
Okay,
opinionated type of thing, right? Mofly, you can tell him like it's just opinion stuff. That's all. To me, that's all. But maybe he struck a chord, or maybe you saw something I didn't see. Nah, I think 2D is less expensive these days. The average Pixar movie has a budget of 150 to 200 million. Elemental costed 200 million.
That's a lot, yeah.
We wish the best for Black Sands comics and shows, the same as Dr. Umar's school. And I know you're joking, but I agree.
Yikes. Is that where we're at with it? Damn. Because y'all know that school is never getting open. Like, he was talking about that school when I was still in school.
Next September, enrollment begins, everybody. The Frederick Douglass, Marcus Garvey Academy. Right? Is it Hampton or Douglas? Which Fred is it?
Well, if it's Fred Hampton, they gonna be in there singing some gospel, but
I don't know what that school is called. I know it ain't nobody in there learning currently.
We knocked out like 3 topics really quickly. Let's go to so Darius, you said you were gonna see Venom, and then you were like, we'll see what happens. Where do you feel after all of the online chit chat about Venom 3?
I won't be seeing it, just like I didn't see the second one.
Damn. What got you to change your mind? Because you were on the fence. You might have even went yesterday when I heard the other day you were streaming.
No, I was hyped. Remember, especially when Noel got added, and then the potential of Tom Holland showing up, and Tom Hardy playing stupid about, oh, I don't know, he could not. I'm like, oh yeah, this shit is hype. People saw it before I saw it. I'm glad they did. I'm glad they paid, so I didn't have to. Because it's just more of Sony's bullshit. It's more of Sony being Sony. From my understanding, and this was told to us before, and if you kind of go back and look at anything I started saying about Venom 3 toward the end there, closer to the release date, I was like, the rumors are saying Noel doesn't do shit but sit the whole time anyway. And from my understanding, how the producers and everybody has come out and said, oh, you don't just use Noel in a one and done. People that have seen it have said that there's nothing in this that sets up Noel to do anything else. And that's not to say they won't use him, but they're just saying it's just more Sony's bullshit. It's just like, and I refuse. Again, this is gonna, for everybody that's like, oh, Kraven looks so hype. No one's gonna go see Kraven after Venom bombs. It's just like the stuff saying about Joker and like Sony. How many times has Sony
go see Kraven? I've been waiting to see Kraven for a long time. Actually, I really want to see that movie,
Marcus, and I cannot wait to hear your review.
No. I don't expect it to be good. I expect it to be like a guilty pleasure. Like I like Aaron Taylor Johnson
and the action.
I do think that Kraven is an underrated Spider-Man villain, but that's more of a personal thing. I don't expect anybody else to come along with me on that train. So when I go to see it, it'll probably be like one other person in the theater.
Probably do cleaning up.
I'm accepting of it. It's going to be one of those guilty pleasure bad movies.
Yeah, no, I don't know what it's going to take for Sony to really understand that they had to have seen the chatter online when everybody has like speculated that Spider-Man might actually show up in this. The hype level went from not hearing shit about Venom to Venom to now it's like reviews 4 out of 10. Don't go see this. This is a waste of time. More Sony being Sony. And I'm just like, I'm so glad I want one of them popcorn buckets, but that's about it.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say about Venom, man. I think that most of what we were talking about with Amy Pascal is probably what's at play here. I don't understand why they don't find a way to play nice. Like, why does Marvel keep licensing out? Or well, I guess Sony licenses things out to Marvel. Just sell it, man. Just sell it. You make more money. I think they make more money.
But see, the thing is, Sony, because they know what they have with Spider-Man, because they know they are fully cognizant and understand. If I put out a movie with this motherfucker, I can easily make $1 billion. They know that. That's why they bidded so hard to put Andrew and Toby back in Spider-Man 4, because they wanted to repeat that $1 billion success. They understand that.
What if it happens if you have a miss with Toby though? Like it's like not Toby with Andrew.
Tom or Andrew?
Tom. Jesus, Andrew. Tom. What if you have a miss with Tom? Like everything right now Sony is doing is banking on Tom Holland. Like,
but see, that goes to that video I think we watched last week with Tom, where he was saying, I, after 10 years now, can say no. So if there's something that he doesn't agree with Sony, he can tell you, fuck off, Amy.
Yeah, I'm saying
that shit.
I don't think they want to be in that position like at all. And they kind of poop the bed here, because there is a scenario where you can just push Peter to the background for a bit and try to use all the characters he brought along to tide you over until you work out negotiations with Tom Holland. Now, if he even threatens to sit down for any amount of time, what is Sony putting out that anybody's going to be paying attention to? They are completely beholden to him. It's really a ugly situation.
It is that God that just give it back to Marvel. Like give him back to Marvel. I just don't, because they're not using him outside of the MCU. We don't see Spider-Man and Beyond the Spider-Verse. We don't see Spider-Man. We don't and then again, I'm so glad I've never seen Madam Web, because the whole movie's a premonition. It's okay, this is what they're gonna be. And that premonition is the literal trailer. So it's like I can't get behind anything Sony's doing. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I be wanting them to tell Kevin Feige and the Marvel guys to go beat it so they can make their own movie. But then it's like, what would these things be looking at without zero oversight from Kevin Feige and Marvel? Like, this is 100% only Sony. What the hell would they look like?
Man. Woo, man. And I think that was what was so scary back in, what was that, 20 whatever, when Sony,
17, I think it was,
said that they weren't going
over Tom Holland.
Yeah. And Tom got on that live stream or got on whatever and said he doesn't know if he's Spider-Man anymore. He doesn't know what's going on. Yeah, no, that was some shit. So they just need to really give it up. Like, give it. And if I'm Tom, I mean, obviously, I don't know. Tom should be whispering some shit. And Amy, it's just not working. You just gotta sell it. It's just not working. So yeah. Now I'm checking out the Nicolas Cage Prime Noir series. Noir? Yeah, I'll check that out. I'll check it out. I got to see a trailer. Let me see a trailer from it, and then I'll check it out.
I know it's not going to be considered or factored into the Miles Morales movie we have coming up, Across the Spider-Verse or Beneath the Spider-Verse. It's
Yeah.
got nothing to do with that because they made the movie first. So like knowing it's part of the same multiverse, it's part of the same story, and they'll be connected by only by name. That just turns me off. It's why I don't like Agatha, because it's the MCU, sure, but they went underground and they locked themselves in. Now they're in like a brand new haunted house every single episode, and I'm just like, this got. I mean, it's in the same universe, but where's the continuity? Where's the ramifications on the world? How does this affect everyone? And that's what Spider-Man Noir is to me.
Yeah.
But I'm different, that everyone watches shows for different reasons. Some people love it. Not everything needs to be attached. You'll love Spider-Man Noir.
Well, I'm not one of those that says I think if you start a connected universe, everything should be attached. Sorry, I'm not one of those. It's like, oh, let's have our own separate thing over here. No,
Yeah.
no.
Agreed.
But I completely agree with what Critical Mass just said. It's kind of crazy that Marvel is relying on a character that's not even theirs to lead the next phase of the MCU. That's
crazy.
Yeah, that is quite wild.
Well, they could have had T'Challa. Like that would have been it. Like really, if we really think about it, let's pretend Chadwick Boseman. No, never mind. Chadwick Boseman dies and they recast. Let's pretend that's what they did. Now, who do they have? Deadpool's he don't lean the universe on Deadpool, right?
No,
hell no. First of all, you can't put Deadpool. Deadpool is a
situational type of player. He's not going to be in everybody's project.
Yeah, he can't come up and I don't want to see
Marvels.
Deadpool. Yeah, like what? Deadpool can't pop up in like a Brave New World, and
he's fine in doses, and we don't want to overexpose him. We don't want to do that. I have some bad news about Andrew Garfield, though. If you're thinking he's gonna be in a in a movie anytime soon,
like out of everyone in the world, I'm so happy. Like we should be putting our energy towards something that actually matters.
What could be more important than that right now?
Yeah, maybe the lives of, I don't know, Palestinians in Gaza right now.
That's it.
I love this man.
You'll never get a Marvel movie. He'll never return to. It's who owns Sony? Is it a Japanese studio or is it an American?
I think. Oh no! See, I
thought it was a Japanese studio that owns Sony.
Yeah, maybe he's fine. Maybe Sony movies. He's still fine.
I think that one was more of a shot to like the industry of Hollywood because they unwaveringly support the state of Israel for sure, and by and large. So, shout out to him. It was a good statement. Still the worst Spider-Man.
RP.
Amazing Spider-Man. It was already dead, Mofly. It wasn't alive.
See, Black Claw got us. Japanese company, but the film division's American.
Okay.
What about their music? Didn't Michael Jackson have a thing with Sony?
He did have a long, kind of drawn out fight with Sony. He left Sony with what was it, like 10 to 12% ownership of it?
He did. And then talk shit about them on stage. This is one of my favorite Mike videos, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Did you post it recently? I think I saw it recently.
No, I didn't post it. I did post something of him, but it wasn't that.
Best Spider-Man. Take that.
He is the best.
Wrong.
He is the best. I think Black Panther said that up there too. Just to throw more out there.
Darius, we've already done this. We did our poll already.
He is
we already
the best
know
Spider-Man.
That the crowd does not agree.
People came in here and tried to bomb that, and
people came in and tried to bomb.
Yeah, people were like, some people were like,
voted.
People were double voting.
All right, okay. You acting like the
tweeting
now.
Tweeting friends.
You lost a race. Now all of a sudden it's illegitimate. That's crazy.
They were tweeting friends, hey, come vote real quick. Like, come on.
No such effort is needed to beat Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. Okay,
man, y'all better stop. And when he went up to Rhino and said, "You can call me crazy, you can call me this, but just can't call me late," man, that's some quippy comic Spider-Man-y.
Trash, garbage, hot garbage.
Y'all better leave him alone, man.
The Paul Giamatti Rhino, Jesus,
terrible Rhino.
How many of your Spider-Man are in 4 movies? No. Yeah, Tom Holland.
Okay, wait a
The fourth
minute.
one hasn't come out yet. Hey, don't count your chickens before they roost.
Fine. I'll count Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame.
Hold on. Andrew was in a very tough position at the time that he was Spider-Man
I
with
don't want
Sony.
to hear this
There-
shit.
there was some real nefarious shit going on behind the scenes with him and his Spider-Man. They stunted his because he could have had we could be watching Spider-Man 6 with him, man. That's how far that shit could have gone.
Spider-Man 6. Oh my god.
Could have gone that
With
far.
Andrew Garfield?
With
Darn.
Andrew Garfield. It could have
I'm
gone
so
that
upset
far.
that we missed out on that.
Man,
God.
we are talking about the one guy cast as Spider-Man that was the real, true Spider-Man fan. He was a Spider-Man fan, like growing. Man,
I'm glad that he got to live out his dream.
he was a perfect casting.
Oh,
Until Tom Holland, actual teenager playing Spider-Man. Yeah.
And again, I will agree that Tom does embody that Peter Parker-esque more than Andrew, but Andrew is still the best Spider-Man, bro. When he cried in No Way Home and said, "I just don't want you to end up like me," I'm like, damn, I gotta see that movie. What happened? Stop. That's my bro. That's my dude.
there's
bro.
one true Spider-Man. His name is Toby.
Oh,
His name is Toby.
What did his
Okay.
mama name him?
Toby.
Oh, okay.
He is the one true Spider-Man. We don't have to do this anymore. The people have
Okay.
decided.
no. We hear more about Andrew than Toby. People be like, "Oh, Andrew's coming back. More Andrew. Yay." The Toby
No.
rumors.
It is you and your friends, Darius. It's you and your friends. Nobody else is screaming for Andrew Garfield.
Oh, don't maybe have to put out another tweet. Have to ask.
Don't do that
again.
to yourself. Don't do it.
There's a little bit of recast T'Challa energy in our live chat. The last topic. We're getting there. I mean, we killed Venom. We talked Star Wars. We've covered all of the topics that we were gonna cover. We usually do a sports talk. You guys like the basketball game? Bronny James debuting, clocking in at the same time with his dad. That was awesome. Good little moment. Boss.
He looks petrified. He looks like he is G League ready tomorrow. He looks like if it wasn't for LeBron, obviously these are things we know, he would not be there. I love the fact that Anthony Edwards immediately got in his face when he got on the floor. Welcome to the league, little nigga. I don't care if your daddy's right there or not. Take your little ass to the I loved it. I mean, he just looked petrified though. He didn't. I love the energy from Edwards, but he looked petrified. He did not look like he was ready for that at all. And I think he also had the look of he knew that. He had the look of, I know I'm not supposed to be here.
And he's so much shorter than everyone else.
Yeah, he's small.
I told you so. I told you so. I was waiting for somebody to bring it up in conversation so that I could just say I told you so. That's all I wanted to say.
So is it a W or an L? Is it a W or an L? He won his debut. The family got a moment on
it's an L.
birthday.
It's an L.
He's
Do
gonna
you
end
know
up in the
I
G League.
watched? There were so many highlights of that moment. They didn't show Bronny scoring a basket. They didn't
'Cause
show
he
him
didn't
doing
score.
anything because he didn't score. Y'all, they couldn't even put together a highlight reel and hype it up like they were actually scoring. No, he didn't do anything that was a highlight. He didn't even stroke one from the free throw line.
His highlight was the photo with Ken Griffey's.
7. Yeah, we're gonna do senior to senior, junior to junior. Fam, your son played 7 minutes and got 1 rebound. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing.
If he had more minutes, he would have got a little bit more.
And everybody talking about, oh, well, he need to go to the G League. Fam, they don't have a mandate to play him in the G League. Is dogs in the G League trying to get a roster spot? He has a guaranteed contract for $4 million.
And see, that's the difference. The
How
dog
much better is he
mentality.
going to get on a team full of guys who are playing for $30,000 for 8 months?
I'm telling you.
Fighting for their lives.
The difference is Bronny hasn't had to ever really fight or fight at all because how has he had to
He
ever
did
really
have to come
fight?
back from the cardiac arrest.
Oh,
But-
yeah, okay, that. I'm talking about
Well,
as
now,
far
here's
as
that,
like, I'm talking about as far as like he's never had to fight for a position in like because
and
of
he'll
who
never
he,
have to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now, not the cardiac arrest thing, not that. But
Yeah.
the as far as who his father is, the status, he's never had to fight for. So he's not. He
get back
doesn't.
healthy enough to play basketball. I always have to give him credit for that. At the same time, once he came back, it seemed like LeBron either realized that his son wasn't going to be able to, excuse me, clear the gap in between what an actual NBA prospect was and where he was in that short amount of time, in those couple of years, getting back from the cardiac thing. So he's like, let me clear the roadway so that he can rehab and build himself back up in the NBA. I think that's wrong. I think he quite literally took an opportunity out of somebody else's mouth, regardless of who you want to say it was. Look in the undrafted pool. Just pick one. Okay. Anybody who scored more than 4 points a game in a Power 5 conference deserves the spot more than Bronny James. But however, I understand the calculus of it. I only ever wanted him to tell the truth. And I think that now he's in a spot where he got the money already. He's there for 4 years. And basically all they're asking him to do is practice and become a better version of him. When was it at any point during your 20-something-year-old life that somebody could have given you $4 million? Or I don't even know what the number is. It's just 4 years. I don't know what the dollar amount is. Maybe like 6 or 7 million.
One check, you're set.
They could give that to you guaranteed over 4 years and tell you, now, you know what? At the end of these 4 years, we expect you to be, of some caliber. Okay. We're going to give this all to you up front. But at the end of that, we expect you to be something. How successful would that have worked for you at 20, 21 years old?
Not that it matters to your point, but the second round contracts, I think the second 2 years, the team has an option.
His is fully guaranteed, Chill, for
Really?
4 years. Yes. It's unheard of for a second round pick to have a fully guaranteed contract. He's guaranteed for 4 years.
4 years. Wow. Hey, I'm excited because I need more rookie hazing commercials this year. Sophomore
money,
season.
bro.
So again, he's getting not only the opportunity, but the leeway that the majority of NBA players don't get. The average NBA career is like, what, 3.5, 4 years? He gets to extend past that automatically. And then we have to decide whether or not he's an NBA player.
And that's a point. Jimmy Butler averaged 5 points and 3 rebounds.
Is that more than 4 points, Johnny Washington? I think it is. Also, Jimmy Butler, 6'4". 6'4" and a tireless defender. He built his offensive game in the NBA. Bronny James, under 6'2", and is not really the defender that people try to make him out to be. He's just less shitty on defense than he is on offense.
But he's friends with Aiden Ross. The other game I want, the other game I want to talk about is the Boston Celtics game. Just because at the ending, when they kind of tied the Bucks 3-point record, they kept shooting threes and jacking up threes, and then they were like, "Oh, let's just dribble out the clock because the coach said not to." I'm tired of this whole "you gotta respect the other team." Go for it, bro. Just play the game. There's nothing wrong with playing basketball today, and you have a chance to break a record. Just go ahead and do it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's a toughie. And the reason I say it's a toughie because for me, and this is different, obviously NBA, but it's basketball. It's all the same. I won't allow my boys to shoot if we're killing you. There's no reason for us to shoot that last shot if we've got the ball. Hold it.
No. There was still the shot clock hadn't, when the shot clock's turned off, there was more than 24 seconds. We're going to dribble it out for 24 seconds, get a turnover.
Take the shot clock violation.
And then the other team will inbound and they'll dribble it out.
I maybe won't take the penalty, but if there is an opportunity to like ground the ball out and just hold it to let the time expire, I'd rather do that than continue to, potentially be a fight or a scuffle or something like that. Because they do get sensitive over it,
Agreed. We
And
need some sort of time over. Like when you just go to the center of the court, you tell the referee timeout, And then he'll say, "What, timeout? No, time over." And then they'll say, "Okay, that's the game." But only the losing team can do that, and then we're good.
Gotcha.
Let's see, and I get this point here, what Antonio Film said, and like I said, I'm a coach where we would. I can give you a good example. We were playing a team. Coach told me to pull off my press. I didn't, because at that point for me, we were killing them, but at that point for me, it was practice. It was like we weren't trying to humiliate you, but at the same time, your team needs to, do your job as a coach. Really, I don't know what you're talking to me for. Call a timeout and talk to your boys. This can give you something to work on in practice. But I feel like, at the very last buzzer, if we're up 50, we've already embarrassed you. I don't know what the why I need to drop.
What does
that
it
last
matter
shot.
that they're still going press? Yeah, at that point. Again, if there are teachable moments in a game, I'm going to take those opportunities. If there is, if it's still competitive to some degree, or if you're doing it from the losing end and you're still closing a lead somehow, that's all acceptable. I guess it becomes the showboating part of it. Like, let me stat pad, let me run the score up. That guys take offense to. And so you can walk head into that and be tough and be like, oh, well, if you want to stop it, stop it. But then you got to deal with why your players fall after the game. You got to deal with the scuffle that ensues before the handshakes. Like, nobody wants to deal with that. They want to get in, they want to get out and enjoy their win. So, you are going to have to deal with some of the response to that tough attitude if that's the way you're going to play it.
Unsportsmanlike. I'm the one guy who says you want to win sportsmanlike, and that commercial everyone hates. The ball was out of bounds by me, coach. I gotta tell the referee about it.
Oh, I hate that commercial.
I think you have to tell the referee about it. You want to win a game and not earn your trophy? Is that what you want to do,
brother? I tell you what, I probably let one of my boys let one of my boys had told the ref, my bad, bro. That was coach. I got no. We paid too much for this goddamn tournament. I don't agree with that one. But I do agree with it's unsportsmanlike. Like, is that unsportsmanlike? It's to shoot that last shot. It really just depends on the situation. I think it's situational.
You've got selective sportsmanlike conduct. Your ethics are immoral. You're inconsistent with how you sportsmanlike.
Bro, if you tell the ref,
I'll tell him right as it happens.
Game like that.
I won't even wait to walk to my bench to tell them. I'll just. I know I touched it.
Bro, like, okay, listen. In like, if it's like second quarter, I've seen my boys say, "Oh, that was me," and look at me and be like, "Coach, that was me." I'd be like, "Okay." 2 seconds, tie game. You better keep that shit between you and God.
Okay, I'll give you this.
Tell me in the car.
If we were not getting called the whole game and we were owed one, I keep my mouth shut, of course. Spirit of competition.
Even if we're not owed.
I've been zoned out here for maybe like 30 seconds. Are y'all talking about that commercial where the guy goes and tells we would have jayed him in the locker room. We would have jayed him in the locker room.
My boys would have whooped
What are you doing? No. It's their job to referee. You shut up. No, shut up. Come over here and sit down. Sit down. I'll talk to you after the game, Johnson. What's wrong with that kid?
Oh,
so
man.
If you're the other team, though, and the player actually said, yeah, it was out on me, do you look at him like, oh, that's how much we suck? He can just give us the ball, eh?
No, you take advantage of it and you try to win. But like in the aftermath, when you're private, you're in the locker room, you say, man, hey, we got away with one that time, fellas. Now we got to play a lot better because there was no way we were supposed to get out of here with that game. And they handed it back to us.
Now, see, I've pulled an unsportsmanlike Jason Kidd. I specifically got it from Jason Kidd.
Oh, spill some water on the damn floor to stop the game?
Oh, yeah. Man, I was out of timeouts. I needed that. I couldn't talk. Like, they couldn't come over to us, but I was like, hey, get as close as you can.
I ran over and took my shirt off and got it real quick. I'm like, come on, back the ball. You trying to play games.
Before he did it in 2015, or did you do it after he?
No, I did it. I got it specifically from him. I said, I'm going to use that.
Man, screw basketball. My Yankees are in the World Series. Bronx Bombers up, baby.
What is that, baseball?
Yeah.
Yes. The Yankees?
Okay, hey. It took me a minute.
We should have been like, nah, that's soccer, cuz. That's soccer.
I probably would have said, oh.
Let's get into it. Katrina, no sportsmanship like Kobe died. Both teams committed the shot clock violations. And it was the Raptors coach, Nick Nurse, who decided that little thing.
Yep.
Shout out to the Raptors. Shout out Grady Dick. Civil War T'Challa was top tier. Even that deleted scene with the Black Widow was peak. Everyone's talking about comic book stuff. They want us to get back on track. Why we're here. Okay.
One more thing. I'm sorry. Before we go back to that, since you brought up Grady, who's the Miami Heat's post player currently? They're young one that they just recruited.
Bam Adebayo.
The light skinned dude.
No, the light skinned dude.
Wait, is it for Miami or is it
Atlanta?
Yeah, what's his let me see a picture of him.
John Collins. Does he still play for Atlanta?
He should have been just recruited.
Oh, then I don't know.
Atlanta rookie. He was the number 1 pick, Zachary Researcher. That guy?
Nah, that's not him either. But anyway, there's one of the post players. I don't remember. I can't remember who I saw him playing for. I saw him. I was like, I did not know he went to. That's not him. I did not know he went to the NBA. He played for All Arkansas Red. That was like one of our rival teams. We used to play them all the time. I was like, this boy is in the NBA now. He's huge though, so I figured, he was going to end up, in the league at some point. But he is trying to. I mean, there's really no way to say that. When you're talking sports, he's massively long. Like he is, he's again boss, but he's long. Like his wingspan. There we go. His wingspan is
okay. There, Jerry Jones.
I mean, he is massively long. You.
Let's roast.
You.
Let's roast Marvel. Marvel doesn't care about black characters. Why did you title it that?
Of course not.
It's because they don't. We are watching, and I told y'all, I said, I still say the next thing we're going to hear is Ali is walked away. Is that my screen doing that? Okay, maybe it's just my screen. But the next thing I said that we're going to see Ali walk away. This is not surprising that this has happened, and this is also right off the heels of hearing about Armor Wars. The Yazir Lester actually just recently did an interview talking about Armor Wars that came out today, talking about how Marvel needs to find other ways to incorporate Rhodey without him seeming like a minor character. And they can't do that.
Yazir Lester.
This is a dude directing Armor Wars.
Okay.
Or
directing
was
what?
directing. Was directing Armor Wars.
What?
Was directing Armor Wars. The light skinned dude, Yazir Lester. But no, I'm not. Like I said, I'm not shocked by this, and the reason I say that is because you buried your main black character, first black character. Monica, and I'm just gonna say I believe this rumor. She was. I mean, they like Brad Winderbaum said, we have so much in production, more than we're actually producing. So let's say the Monica show was real, canceled, not happening. Okay, that's another black show gone. Armor Wars, not Armor Wars. Sorry, Ironheart. Not that I'm looking for Ironheart at any turn or corner or whatever, but Ironheart was announced in 2019, and we still have not seen it. Every project announced at D23, San Diego Comic-Con, has seen the light of day except the 2 black projects.
Ironheart was December 2020.
Okay, it's still not all the projects that was announced with it are on DVD. Let's put it that way. These things are not. These projects these 3 black projects have not seen anything.
Bob Iger told us we quietly canceled some of the projects. He never said which, but I was not born last night, and I know which ones were canceled quietly.
I didn't think it was Blade, though. I didn't think that was part of the quietly canceled, because that's not really something that you can. The minute Mahershala Ali shows that, oh well, he's not here during when they're supposed to be filming, it's kind of a dead giveaway. Or if he's taken on other subsequent roles like the Jurassic Park thing, it gets very hard to deny that he's separating, right? So I just didn't think that Blade was going to be one of those ones that was silently canceled. I thought that was more the realm of like the Disney Plus shows.
And then to add what you just said there about the Jurassic Park thing, I don't know. No credible scooper, I believe, has said anything about this. This was somebody closer to the DC side of things that said that DC is maybe even looking at him to be Jean, Martian Manhunter. And if that is a thing too, I'm sure they're going to get that off the ground way faster than 2028's or 2029 or 3042's Blade. So I'm sure, why would he not take that? And then, but just to add this too, this is what they reported today about this. They said, hold on. They said today that.
Is it the Deadline article?
No, it's not the Deadline. Or is it the Deadline? No, it's not the Deadline article. It's what John Roca said on with Jeff Snyder. Jeff Snyder said Mahershala Ali recently met with Marvel Studios and reportedly said in a phone call that he is very happy and excited about the current direction of Blade. He also mentioned that he has no issues with the delay. This is bullshit. No, he hasn't.
Say, this shit sounds like trash. Because who's even making it? We don't even know who's writing it or directing right now. Who's doing it?
Don't you guys see it? If Mahershala Ali is giving this energy, it's because he does not want to be that difficult to work with kind. He's like, yeah, it's cool. Let the studio do what they got to do. We have to make sure we get it right, and I'm on board. He is not going to be the reason why they cancel it or why they go, this will be the
why he has his lawyer telling people that this is the worst experiences that he's ever had in Hollywood. It sounds counterintuitive.
That's a good point.
It sounds pretty counterintuitive.
Yeah, I mean, she said that months ago too. So that's what I'm saying. Anybody that thinks that these aren't conversations that he has already privately had,
like before all of this bullshit. Like I probably said that at one point in time. One point in time, I was happy. At one point in time, I was very happy with what was going on. And then
it's just like the Yann Dimmage thing. Yann Dimmage exited this project way before we, the public, found out. I feel like it's the same thing with Mahershala Ali. He's been gone. They are just not reporting on him being gone yet. I think he's been gone.
Fam, I hadn't realized how many writers they went through. Like I put my mind on the directors, right? And there was only 3 directors that they went through. They've gone through 7 writers. Something's got to give here. Something's got to give. Either you are picking the wrong people to come in here and do this, or every treatment you get in that is not a 1-to-1 to what you want is getting kicked, which is an issue.
But I'm sorry, go ahead, Joe.
Can't we say Mahershala Ali is not gonna be the reason this ends? He's gonna say, I'm still committed. I will do this movie. I'm on board. I won't get tired. You're not gonna age me out. You're not gonna, write a bad script to make me disgusted and leave you. You're not gonna mistreat me, this and that. This movie's so important. It's the payday that I want. It's representation that we want, because if it's not him leading the movie, it will be Midnight Suns. Let's get an Asian character. Let's get another community character, and we'll put them all in the movie.
Feels like what they're shifting. Well, that's what this story would lead you to believe, right? Is that the Mahershala Ali thing is kind of fizzling out, and that they're looking to redirect towards Midnight Suns. I don't know. I mean, the last we heard on Midnight Suns is that they were eyeing Jordan Peele, and then that fizzled out. Like, if they had Jordan Peele on board to make these, the new X-Men movie or the new Midnight Suns, then hell yeah, I'm down for that. But not at the expense of the solo film that it was supposed to be Blade from 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Year 3, I would probably agree with you. Maybe even year 2. Year 2, maybe even year 3, I would agree with you that Ali probably was like, I'm in this. I've got a payday. This is big for me. Year 6, I don't think so. And I don't think he's. And if he has any respect for himself, and I don't think so, because we're currently, again, not that I'm not enjoying the Agatha show, but we're currently watching Catherine Hahn's, an insignificant character, even in Marvel Comics. She's a babysitter. Have her own show. And it's being widely talked about.
I want to know what that budget was for Agatha. I want to know how much they spent on that season, because you know what they keynoted to have for Blade. You know what what budget they set for Blade? $100 million. $100 million for a Blade movie. Now, you don't have to spend a whole lot on Blade movie. It's very practical. You know, you don't really need to do a lot for vampires. But, however, just comparatively,
Agatha feels cheap. You didn't see it, but it feels cheap.
does it? Okay.
I don't think they made a lot. From what I actually heard, Catherine Hahn didn't even really make anything.
I'll take it back 6 years to 2018. First Captain Marvel movie, $152 million.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any way that an introduction for Carol Danvers in 2018 should be less expensive than a reintroduction of the superhero that, I don't know, saved the company back in the early 2000s? Does it feel right to anybody? But we care so much about Blade, though. He's a priority. We at this company, we just bleed money into television shows. it shouldn't be that hard to get 130, 150 million. I wonder if money was a problem with some of these negotiations. I wonder if some of the directors said, hey, you're not paying me what I'm owed for a project like this. I wonder.
You know, but this is also the same company that is telling us, hey, we're going to give you a spinoff to the spinoff of the spinoff of the spinoff. And you guys are going to love this shit. And we have all the time and money for that. So if they can give us a spinoff to all the spinoffs and the spinoffs, and we've seen spinoffs to the spinoffs before we've seen Blade, that's insane. We're watching a spinoff of a spinoff right now. Before we've seen Blade.
Yeah.
Exactly, Darius. If Ali has any self-respect, he'd walk. Bruh, they had Wesley saying there will ever only be one Blade in Deadpool 3.
And meanwhile, you got my cheap ass production over here spinning the wheels off on the side of the road. Like, you let that man come on here and say there ain't never gonna be another Blade, and then you edited it, and then you okayed it, and then you put it out for consumption.
Ugh. Yeah.
Yep.
I remember that day I saw that movie. I said there was something wrong with that scene, and I was told other things. I was told, no. The joke is Deadpool knows. Oh, Wesley doesn't know that Mahershala is coming. That's the joke. That's why he did the eyebrows. Yeah. I was right the first time.
Yeah, bro. Everybody that was trying to do like, oh no, it's a joke. It's bro. There was a lot of things said in that film that they said in a joking way that I don't think were jokes.
It's tone deaf because it played like, oh, they know that the Blade project is struggling and it's never going to see the light of day. Like that was probably the most hyperbolic statement before that movie came out. And then it got validated because it was like, well, hold on, man. Is it actually dead? And now here, all of a sudden, we're stricken from the release date calendar. So.
And you want to lie to me and tell me that Mahershala Ali is, until I hear it from him, because I want to mind you, we have not heard Mahershala Ali. The only thing we've heard from Ali about since, and this is 6 years, everyone, for everyone watching, this is 6 years. The only two things, I can give you two things. I was only going to give you one, but two things we've heard from Ali. One, San Diego Comic-Con when he came out and put on the hat. I don't even know if he said anything. He might have just smiled and gave some hugs.
Smiled and waved his hands and stuff, yeah.
The only other thing, and this is not like a video, this is just in a printed interview when he said, I can tell you what's happening. That's the equivalent to whatever, anytime they interview Daisy Ridley as of lately and they ask her about the Ray film, what does Daisy say? Oh, it's happening. I can't tell you anything.
I can't tell you anything. Yep.
Yeah, bro. This film is never seeing the light of day. I mean, and it's just like I said. So I do agree with Exiled Scooper. I don't think it's going to be no damn Lakeith Stanfield. He retweeted his tweet and said, I told you guys it's coming, but I don't think that's happening. I do think by the time they do the Midnight Suns, if Ali, it has truly not walked, it is going to be somebody else leading it, or they are going to put somebody else.
I'm kind of at the point where I want it to fail, and not for Mahershala's sake, not for Blade fans' sake, not for MCU fans' sake. It is so that Disney is forced to reconcile the gap that they have right now in any type of Black leading character. Right? It's been so exacerbated now that I think more prominent commercial voices will begin to say things about it, right? Because they won't be able to ignore it. The evidence in the interim is loud. Cancel Armor Wars, cancel Blade, cancel Monica Rambeau. We have all these
Barry
other
T'Challa.
stinkers that you're putting. Yeah, Barry T'Challa. Then you have all of these stinkers that you're putting up.
Okay, hold your horses
title.
now. With all of these stinkers back of the bus, look. At Marvel Studios, we care about the blacks. They're our number one priority.
He said the blacks.
What is our name?
We care about Black Widow. We care about Ebony Maw.
Blacks.
We care about all of you, and you come in many shades and different. Why does it say my name is Chillmonger on there? Get rid of that for me, please. That's not me, guys. It is improper etiquette.
You should just go ahead and finish your statement, KKK Kevin.
No, you guys should ask your questions. To be honest, I'm here. I'm right in front of you guys. You're making all this noise about how Blade's not happening. You're not thinking. You're not thinking the way I'm thinking. I run a movie studio, and you have to consider that Avengers Doomsday...
Enlighten us, Kevin. How are you thinking?
We're about to have universes end. The multiverse will no longer exist at Doomsday. So what, are we supposed to just throw in a Blade movie out of continuity? No, we respect Mahershala Ali, the continuity of the Blade franchise, and we want to get it right in 2028, right after Secret Wars is out. Okay,
respectfully, Kevin, you decide what is in continuity, right? You're telling the story. You can make it work. Vampires are already decidedly out of MCU continuity, so there's really not going to be an opportunity where vampires aren't foreign to the current MCU watcher anyway. You're kind of making excuses for problems you've created for yourself. Not to mention that this film got announced in 2019, so you had ample time to plan a good entry point for Blade, and yet here we are, stricken from the 2025 release calendar altogether.
All of this is in consideration. You haven't seen the scripts, and I'm not one to reveal too many spoilers, but it's considered. The movie is... Mahershala and me get along very nicely. His lawyer may... What? Wonder Man.
no,
no. JW just wins. This guy knows what he's talking about. If I didn't care, why would I be casting Yahya Abdul-Mateen II to play Wonder Man? You know, he's actually white. I think about you guys so much. I wanted you guys to be white people so badly. That's how highly I think of you. You get it?
I think he wants to know about the individual that died on set. Is that something that you can speak about? Does that cause any of delays in giving us updates on Wonder Man or anything like that?
I don't know how to answer that one. I don't want to touch that one. Like, you know?
Yeah. There is a serious black issue over at Marvel Studios. Yes, a black issue. And
all right,
that black issue that you guys have over at Marvel Studios keeps getting highlighted with every black character. Every black character that is introduced is relegated to small screen times, powers decreased,
intelligence nerfed. Yeah.
I got you. Screen time, intelligence, powers. Who was our best hero? Iron Man. Ironheart is getting 6 episodes of screen time. She'll be smart. She'll be just like Tony Stark, except representation.
I'm glad you brought up Riri. What role does Riri Williams in your mind, canonically, like we're talking comic books now? What role does Riri Williams play in relation to Wakanda?
There was a comic in 2019. You don't know this because you don't read comics.
Right. Enlightenment.
Riri and Shuri have a little team up powwow, and that's what we're going to be adapting.
Was that a one shot? Was it an ongoing thing? Was it a series?
It was 3 issues of fighting.
3 issues. Got it. Do you ever think maybe, Kevin, that it's a better idea to stick with, comic book arcs that had longer runs, you know, things that constituted bigger fan bases, as opposed to 3-issue limited series. Don't you think
want
that
longer?
maybe that's
You want more, right? You want more. Okay. Photon's been around forever, okay?
we were
Monica.
talking about Riri, but sure, let's go on the Photon.
No, you wanted to talk about heroes who've been here forever. You want to talk about comic books. Who has more comics than her on the female side? And I'm representing you. I casted her as a little girl in a movie. I got her recasted in the adult. You like the recast? Recasted her as an adult. Yeah. And so you're getting representation with that character. She's in X-Men universe far away right now.
Yeah,
But
you keep saying that, and you keep throwing me these alley-oops over representation. Let's talk about Monica Rambeau, right? Monica Rambeau, the first Captain Marvel in Marvel history. Why Carol before? Why is Carol the vehicle by which we introduce Captain Marvel?
Guys,
for representation's sake, right? Because I'm sure you know that representation is done best when it's at the lead, right, KK Kevin? Like, you understand that representation at the lead is worth 10 times what representation as a supporting character or a race swap is, correct, KK Kevin?
Let's not get too crazy. There's nothing wrong with the race swap. But Monica Rambeau was integral to the Marvels. We didn't even call it Captain Marvel. We called it the Marvels because she's a Marvel.
Mistake in my
so
eyes.
I did call her a Marvel. I named the plural when you put an S at the end of a word. Marvels. I was putting so much respect on Ms. Marvel, Captain Marvel, and Monica's name.
It doesn't quite answer my question though. First, why Carol first? Was there something about Carol that maybe stood out about her that made her more acceptable, even though she wasn't all that popular of a character in comic books, right? Even the Captain Marvel male character was a little bit more
Let
popular.
me just beat you to it. You're trying to make me say that because a white woman is more marketable than a black woman, we decided to do a white movie before that. There's no way you're going to be able to prove that is correct. I went with the hero that
What part of it can I not prove that is correct? That you did it, or that a white woman is more marketable?
That it happened with the intention that you're projecting on me. It didn't happen like that.
Well, I also didn't accuse you of that. That's something that you said of your own volition. So it seems like you're projecting a bit here, KK Kevin.
Guys, Sam Wilson is your Captain America. He is in the lead. He's gonna call himself the red, white, and blue Captain America. He has the shield that we did a whole TV series to get rid of all of that murky exposition stuff. But now watch action time. This movie, we shot a movie. We didn't, you know what? We shot it twice. There was another additional 90 days of principal photography. That's what we call it in the biz. And Sam Wilson, is gonna be your Cap.
Gotcha. You just keep throwing me these oops, man. I feel like you're CP3 and I'm DeAndre Jordan. So let's talk about Sam Wilson for a second as well. Did you ever maybe think, now we're talking about long comic book runs and what was popular and what wasn't, that maybe some of the backlash that we got from that era of Sam Wilson as Captain America would translate over to the film? Because I'm hearing that some of the test screenings aren't going as well for Brave New World or whatever the movie is called by now.
That makes sense. You're racist. You don't even like the movies coming out in February. Look at you, Marcus. I'm trying to have honest dialogue with you, and you're telling me about controversy, this and that. There is no controversy.
We've run out of excuses.
Unless you can't accept the black as Captain America, and that's the truth.
Hey, Darius, I think we finally found out who wrote Lucasfilm's playbook for handling criticism. He's right here. He's sitting right there. AK Kevin wrote the handbook on how to handle criticism on content, because it sounds like Kathleen Kennedy's voice in her edict, but it's Kevin's lips. This must have been where it came from.
100% separate from KK Kathy's studio. We
of
are
course. Yes.
Entirely. I'm actually upset with her because I don't have a Star Wars movie. You didn't know that, but that's the inside scoop for your little Pantheon stream, idiots. I am representation personified, okay?
You are?
Yes, I am. I gave you Black Panther in 2018, and that movie made so much money and so much
It made
sales.
so much money that you got afraid to do that with a black man ever again. It got so much money that you got afraid of ever showing a black man in that light ever again.
Why don't you believe in our superheroes like Wonder Man? Why don't you believe in that? What's wrong with you? We're gonna do that again. The TV show is just warming an audience up, and then we get to the movie.
Kevin, do you believe the shit that you're peddling, or is it just kind of like, are you that good at lying?
Marcus, do you have any more questions? I can take questions from your audience. Like I mean, I don't really respect.
I don't really think that they have much to offer up to you because you're not going to answer honestly. But sure, audience, you got any questions for KK Kevin?
I do want to give this, and you can, since he, you work in the same, not the same studio, but I'm sure same vicinity as Kathleen Kennedy. Just a little Star Wars update here. Sure. Okay. A little Star Wars update here. We were talking about Daisy earlier. Yesterday, Daisy Ridley said this, and Daisy Ridley said, things are evolving. I continue to be very excited. There will be an update soon. This is what she said while speaking to Collider. Well, literally minutes ago.
Really? She just said that?
No. She said that yesterday.
Yesterday? Okay.
This is minutes ago that this came out. And it says, this is coming from Puck News. Stephen Knight is no longer writing the Rey Star Wars movie. The film is now likely not making its heavily rumored December 2026 release date. So
they're behind the curve. They're very much behind the curve. We knew that movie wasn't coming out in December.
Oh, yeah, no.
Just because a screenwriter or some...
I'm sick of him. I'm sick of him.
No, that's kind of crazy because I feel like after the last, I don't know, she was just gonna kind of tank it in and like not speak on it until she had something concrete to say. But more, it's going to happen, but I don't know what to say to you. It is emboldening the people who have said it's already been canceled.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No.
Yeah, I know y'all enjoy KK Kevin, but we had to get him up out of here.
Birds, yeah, definitely was plotting that. I mean, I was waiting for the perfect moment to cut his ass. I was going to cut him when he started talking about how he's the embodiment of representation. I was going to cut his ass then, but
I mean, I could definitely see him saying some shit like that. People get very high on their horse when they think they're doing, representation.
What I miss?
Oh, KK Kevin pulled up, and it was a hoot.
Of course he did. Did you guys see the new thing about Rey?
We actually just started talking about it.
Well, my opinion on it is, listen, the Rey movie we knew was secondary when Filoni and Favreau started shooting their Star Wars movie. That's when I was like, okay, yeah, clearly somewhere higher up, not even Lucasfilm, somewhere probably on Disney, they just went, you got Jon Favreau is our moneymaker with Star Wars. We're going to do that. Kennedy doesn't really have power, I think. I think that some of these things like Andor, which was already in production, or in development, I should say. What else was happening? Acolyte was already in development. Let's just finish it out. Let's see it through. Let's see out Skeleton Crew, and we'll do an Ahsoka season 2. Sure, it was already happening. That's where we are with Star Wars and these priors. Everything new will not be a Kathleen Kennedy greenlit something. It'll be, the Mando movie made so much money. 2 years from now, we're doing a Mando sequel. I think we're there. We're there where Kennedy's gone.
Why won't they just retire her? Like, force her out. She's not the CEO of the company. Like, does she know something about like anybody there?
Carano. She is going to. They're going to trial, right? Mm-hmm. You want to have a former employee there testifying, someone that you broke up with on terrible terms?
AK and Gina Carano gonna squad up against Disney?
No. but I want to have Kennedy on my side, not a vengeful, like, I don't even care about this dumbass company. And they fired me. You know what? Gina Carano's right. We did have these
So
conversations.
then, from that perspective, do you think they have a fear about Pearl Mutter or what was the other
Nelson
executive
Peltz?
that got no, not Peltz, the female, Victoria Alonso? Do you think they have worries about them reappearing in the Disney lawsuit?
NDA. Oh, sorry. You said, wait,
She did.
but you said the Disney lawsuit. Gina
Yeah.
Carano wouldn't have something to do with Victoria Alonso.
Well, I mean, bringing them as witnesses, calling them in as witnesses, because they would obviously be privy to some of the comings and goings of, her firing and things of that nature.
I think the NDA, while it probably doesn't prevent you.
Yeah, for Alonso for sure. Now, Perlmutter, I don't know. She can maybe find an ally in Perlmutter, but Alonso, you're right. She more than likely, because she settled with Disney, has an NDA.
Sell
But
the whole company.
if they're hey, no lie, I pitched a pipe dream last week of Spring Hill Productions just buying Lucasfilm. And because they're not so tied to the film industry or Star Wars specifically, that they might just hire somebody competent to do it, and that might be the best thing for us. So
be like, hey, are you a Star Wars fan? Massive.
Definitely a pipe dream. But if there's one thing that LeBron can do is break into new markets that he wasn't possibly in. So, just throwing out that little birdie there.
It reminds me of, I love Arsenal. They get on the pitch. Remember when he said that?
He gonna get on there talking about he's a Star Wars fan. Oh, I always love Star Wars. It's my favorite film franchise. What's your favorite movie? There are just so many. There are just so many Star Wars films. I can't pick one.
Yeah, the one where Luke Skywalker finally wins was awesome.
Theory went back to his old roots in one of his newest videos.
Yeah.
And it was very good. I mean, I know that story. Yeah, but actually, he was just going over Shadows of the Empire and what that could have been, because that's the story that's in between the, it's like what that could have been, what we could have seen from that, if they would have done that film and things like that. And he just went into the book and everything like that. And I was like, you know what? That was some good shit, Theory. It was a good video. It's a good Star Wars video. There was no Kathleen Kennedy. It was just Star Wars. It was good. For people that haven't ever heard of that story, it was good.
I also like how he put out a poll.
They should be set up. Sorry. JW said, "When Fanatic set up Super Chat so we can port." They should be set up. Should be able
maybe because I played the movie clip they dinged you, maybe?
I didn't get
like 20 seconds of it total. Jesus.
I didn't get an email, but maybe.
So sorry if I did, but Star Wars Theory, he put out like a poll on his thing. He goes, "Are you guys enjoying the lore content again?"
Because it's what got him to where he is. Yeah. I
would enjoy to see him stop fighting people. Yeah, for sure. Let's just go back to talking about Star Wars.
That's what his audience said. His audience said 81% yes, and then 16 said all types of videos. 3% I prefer your news and your commentary, which is basically bashing other content creators and that kind of stuff.
So that was Ryan Cannell and somebody else that liked that.
I like it though, and this is like a positive twist because of course I do mostly agree with Theory on a lot of his stuff, but if you can get back to the fun and games of it all, into the fiction, I just saw him at a convention. He was like, Ewan and Hayden, they're gonna be on stage. Gotta go, guys, and just checking in. I'm like, good, go keep it happy and positive. Don't be what they're trying to make you.
Yeah. Also, that, like you said, that wasn't what he built his audience on. So plastering someone's face superimposed with tears under it I don't think that's what's going to bring in your audience, to keep clicking. So they spoke loud and clear for sure.
Yeah.
Did he say, "I saw Venom 3 earlier today. It was fun"? Yeah, like the code word.
That's a red flag for sure.
This is what is his name? Hold on, what is his name?
Soups.
No, not Soups. Austin Meds. He's one of those. He scooped some things too, but he said Venom 3 reviews, just one paragraph. He said extremely messy, weak plot. Venom is barely in the film. The second act was terrible. Most of the comedy did not land. Noel was severely underutilized, and there are so many plot conveniences. The VFX look great, and there are some good Eddie and Venom moments and some fun action scenes, but that's about it. 4 out of 10.
So it is a symbiote movie about an impending symbiote invasion, and two of the most powerful symbiotes in that conversation are barely in the film.
I heard
Way to go, Amy.
but I heard the VFX were good, and so were the action scenes, and that's what I'm looking for in this genre.
For sure. I mean, it has a chance to be good, right? I think from a action scene perspective, Black Adam was good. It was just kind of like everything else that went along with it that suffered. So,
and I liked Black Adam. I have a review.
I like Black Adam. I did. Like, you don't have to really do much to please the crowd. I think though this one, by the third movie, we should have been at a spot where anticipation should have been like peak. And for the fact that this feels like just another film along the way, and it's supposed to be a culmination, kind of says it all, right? Like, there is no big, oh my God moment, because I think people would have been talking about it by now, you know?
Yeah, I don't want to put these images on here. There are other symbiotes obviously in it that are like symbiotes by name from comics that show up in it. So
that's cool.
You can have fun with them since Venom's not in it, I guess.
Then they kill Scream, no? Scream dead. Scream was the mom.
Yeah.
And there's no Dylan Brock. How are we doing a King in Black story without Dylan Brock? Like, I don't even know how this was supposed to come together.
Maybe no, I can't even. Who knows?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like, it was supposed to be Eddie's kid prophesied. So it's just, you know, if he hasn't had a kid by now, I don't think we were ever going to tell this story correctly.
That's crazy. We put so we watched when did before I just give I'm not even going, like, when did the first Venom come out? What year was that?
16, right? 16 or 17?
No.
That long ago?
One of those. It was
it?
Ago.
Hold on.
2017?
Cornelia said 18.
18 is what it says.
18.
Okay.
I knew it was somewhere in there.
18 is when the first one came out. So we have watched Venom in 3 films from 2018 to 2024 fight symbiotes. I just want to put that in perspective. And that's all he's doing in this one too. I'm looking at symbiotes.
Yeah, the second one was Carnage.
Symbiotes.
Symbiote.
No, Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't get it.
Yeah. That's something to look at and laugh at, huh?
I just don't get it. We watched him say that guy as if we were like, that was building up to something fantastic.
No, they were hoping that they could contractually negotiate Tom Holland and Tom Hardy mixing. And that's a no.
Fam, you are the studio that owns both of the characters.
Yeah.
How did this work out where you made 3 of these films and Superman or Spider-Man doesn't show up at all? You are in control of them.
I believe it's probably because the 2016 Civil War, like that beginning, the first contract, they made it sure it was he's the Spider-Man for Marvel and Sony movies. So he never was forced to go. So that's why but now that he's a free agent and he's negotiating a brand new contract, they could have negotiated something where they made Venom and Tom Holland.
Yeah, like, look, you want a Spider-Man 4 out of this studio? You take Venom, goddammit. You take Eddie Brock.
The house that Sony built right here. The house that Hammer built? No. This is the house that Sony built. Yeah. They should.
I mean, you're right.
This is embarrassing.
These are some awful films for sure.
Oh, God.
Awful films.
It started well. And now you're cheerful for Craven. I'm hoping Craven also stinks the joint up, because then Sony knocks on Kevin's door and they say, look, we're gonna have to work together on these. It'll be in your universe. We understand that. Here, we'll just make money. We'll collect the money, but you include them as part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And Kevin will be like, all right, but no black heroes. They say, yeah, fine. And then we got it.
Yeah, I think that is going to be a point of conflict. I think Sony plans to try and expand this universe using Miles. So that is going to be a conflict going forward for sure. Because
Oh, I
Miles
feel
is
so
not going to
bad
be
for
put in a
Miles.
position. Yeah, he's not going to be put in a position that Marvel likes.
Keep him animated though. It's working. I know animated is less profile, but it's working.
But they're planning on doing the live action version in
Amy already
Spider-Man
said
4.
it. Yeah, she's
They
already
want to
said
do the
it.
live action, yeah. So it's like,
Too
She
soon.
already
if you're
said
gonna
his
take
solo
them,
film is coming.
then you have to convince them to elevate yet another black face. He might not make the cut. You know what I mean?
I
Thank
think
you,
it's too
JW.
soon. I think Tom Holland can still do like 2 or 3 movies where he's just regular adult Spider-Man dealing with adult stuff, no teeny weeny girlfriend problems or school issues, no Aunt May. Let's see him as the adult, and then I can believe him as a mentor later on.
For sure.
Amy Pascal said on February 13th, 2024, producer Amy Pascal says live action Miles Morales film is still part of the plan, but not before 2 more movies later classified by Christopher Miller to be
She
Beyond
says
the
too much.
Spider-Verse.
2 more movies?
Good.
And
No,
Tom
good.
Holland's 4th solo Spider-Man outing. So after Beyond the Spider-Verse and Tom Holland's 4th, which is
Oh, well then yeah, that's what I already expected. So that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah,
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah. So it's around the corner. He's coming. And I feel bad for him because they are not going to treat him. It's not for anybody excited for, and I hope I'm wrong, but I'm going to go on the side of just what I've watched here currently in the years that has been the house that Sony has built. Don't get excited if you're a Miles fan, because I don't expect them to handle this character the way that you want him to be handled at all. And then, hey, maybe they learned with Peter. Maybe they were like, yeah, fuck Peter. We want to go with Miles. So maybe Miles is gonna be their live action Jesus. I don't know.
I don't think
they'll
he's
mess
going
it
to be
up.
live action Jesus. I think it kind of depends on what they do. If they plan on taking the animated character that they've already built up and just bringing him to live action, you kind of don't have a choice. The only way that character works is as a protagonist. You don't have a choice.
Was it
You
Marvel
have to
that casted
give him
Tom?
some
I'm
sort of-
sorry.
What'd you say? Was it?
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Go
Go ahead.
ahead.
What'd you say?
Did Marvel cast Tom or did Sony cast Tom?
Probably Marvel.
Probably Marvel. Yeah, I would say Marvel.
So I'm assuming Sony's
Or they
going to
probably
do the
did it both.
casting for
Because if they're
Miles.
sharing the character, I would imagine that both of them are involved in that process.
Yeah.
When he talked
I'm
about-
just curious who it's going to be.
In that interview, when he was talking about who he deals with in his negotiations, he was talking a lot of Sony. He didn't mention Marvel a lot. So I would imagine it was
true.
probably Sony that cast him.
Even though he showed up at Civil War first.
Right, but that was their first appearance that they agreed to have jointly, right? Was Civil War. So
Yeah. No, I don't know who's going to play Miles, but that too, I think is a big part of it.
appreciate you, JW.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for that.
Yeah, it like I said, it depends. If they try to go with the brand new, he's been here all along, Miles Morales, they could go any number of ways with that. He could be a sidekick, he could be, 10 years old, and we got to wait forever to see him be something adult. But
I'm so sick of those.
Yeah, I don't want him to do that. But if they're sticking with the character that's already existing in their universe, which is the smartest, he's already successful, there's no reason to change it, then they have to give him birth next to Peter for it to make sense. You can't just have him appear and then all of a sudden he running behind Peter doing everything he say, trying to learn from him, because that ain't even how he acted versus the Peter that he already met. So there's supposed to be some sort of pre-existing, not relationship, but understanding of what a Peter Parker is, or at least what a Spider-Man is from Miles's perspective, you would expect him to slide into that as a vet and not, oh shit, I'm real life now. I guess I got to learn from Tom. I hope they don't take that route.
Yeah, and are we still thinking or rumored wise that this Miles is just the Miles that's going to be live action Miles?
Who's that? The Shamik
The
Moore
animation
guy?
Miles?
He's a little old.
Oh no, not him. Not him, not his casting, not him, not them. I remember when he said that. I was like, brother, sit down.
Like maybe when you was doing the get down, maybe, but like not
Secret
now.
Wars. We don't know. Like we'll have an Endgame Avengers Assemble kind of moment, and I'm sure we'll get Ghost Rider and Superman Henry Cavill.
We
Everyone will
just
be
see
in it.
Shamik Moore running in the background as Miles. That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
It'll be
Here's
like
my
Brandon
vote.
T. Jackson in the Not Like Us video.
My boy from Blackish.
Yeah.
He's too old too.
Now he is. Yeah, I mean he's getting up there.
How old is he now?
He's got
He
to
got
be
a mustache. If he has a mustache now, he'll be too old.
He definitely
I
does have a
always
mustache.
said the guy from Stranger Things, but now he's aging out. He's getting
I
older.
didn't
You know?
Caleb.
ever like that one because how dark skinned he is.
They don't seem to give a shit when it's going the other way. So
That's
Yeah.
very true.
Wait a minute though. Miles is pretty dark.
brownish, and then you add in the Afro Latino
is,
part of
but I
it with
wanted
his
him-
mom
yeah,
not
I
being
did.
that dark. So
Yeah.
I get it, but it's not. Again, they don't give a shit when it's going the other way. So like, I'ma definitely turn my head when it's going that way. You know?
Yeah, I mean, he is. I'm looking at even at the picture of him animated. He's, he would be the same colors somewhat that Caleb
That's not that far
Kaufman
off.
is.
Yep, I'll take
but
it.
yeah, no, it's not at all. No, it's not. It's not at all. But then again, I do want somebody that I guess this really doesn't even matter either because I mean, I'm looking at Joe Locke and he's not Jewish, but he did that scene.
That's not a skin tone. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah,
It's not a skin tone. I'm not going skin
Yes,
tone. I'm talking about
as
him
the
being
Jewish
Afro
look.
Latino and being able to represent the Latino community as well. Caleb is not Latino. He's
Yeah.
just African American.
Yeah, you'd think that I would cast for someone who's a Puerto Rican descendant who has dark skin. That's how I would go, but I'm not everyone.
Hey, yo, Laz Alonso, you got a son? Let's borrow him real quick. You're also unintentionally funny, Jill. This is hilarious.
Bo DeMayo might have a family member,
Right, like reach out. Hey, yeah. Well, no, they're not hiring him. They will not hire Bo DeMayo's family member.
Nah.
Yeah, Bo would say on the condition we can take away the black father aspect. If Miles's black dad doesn't exist, I'm good.
I mean, there is an arc where he dies, right? So they always have that. And it's his motivating factor, just like most black characters. Slain black parent. Even Blade. They've been doing this for years. They've been doing this shit for years.
Somebody told me stop crying about it. Most Marvel parents are dead. I said, okay, you're right. I'll stop.
I mean, let's go through the Rolodex. I mean, Spider-Man's parents weren't actually dead. His aunt and uncle passed. And then Captain America's parents weren't actually dead. They just died like normal people because he went into the future. And then Tony Stark's dad was dead. Mother and father both murdered. I'll give you Tony Stark. I don't think anything happened to Professor X's parents. They were fine. But then there was, Magneto, of course.
Janet had a missing mom in the quantum realm, or Hope had a missing mom in the quantum realm.
They were talking about Star-Lord's mom, how she died.
Yeah.
I forgot about Dallas Dupree Young. Scooby Lucci Doo brought him up. I forgot about him.
Who was that?
Brother that's... Oops.
Dallas Dupree Young.
This brother, Rachia. Forgot about him.
Okay.
He plays
How
in
old is he
Cobra
now,
Kai.
though? How old is he now?
More recent. Let's see. How old is he? He is 17.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is most recent picture. of him.
Okay. Yeah. We could do that.
Okay, I could see this. I hadn't seen most recent picture. I would say this is most recent. He looks older here than he does in these.
Yeah, I
two,
was about to say this picture, the top right.
This gives vibes. This gives
Bottom
some
to the left. Oh, we do that. We do that.
Yeah. This I could see that for sure.
Wait
Give
for
me-
the
give me
Power.
Oh, go ahead.
Wait for the Power Rangers reboot. Whoever they use as Zach, that will be your actor.
Huh.
Zach is the Black Ranger, right?
Yes.
How tall? Give me a height.
You know, he may not be done
Oh,
growing.
how
that-
tall is he?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I was about to say 17. He's
5'7".
about done. Oh, that's
he's
beautiful.
5'7". Yeah.
That's beautiful. Because I mean, Tom Holland's not that tall. He's only about like 5'9", 5'10". But him playing off of him, that's going to be beautiful. It's going to be perfect. That's exactly how it's supposed to look. Just slightly shorter, like not diminutive, but you can tell he got a little bit more growing to do. That is going to be perfect.
Actually, he just turned 8. He turns 18 tomorrow.
Happy birthday. West Montez. Look up West Montez.
West Montez.
The West Montez.
He looks young.
That's my boy D West.
What is he playing?
Has a much softer profile.
Yeah.
Soft is a nice word. I have not seen this brother, but I can see the vision.
Damn. Okay. Like that side by side right there is a little that's a little dead on.
Yeah.
Hair texture is a
Yeah,
little off, but I mean, you can work that, I guess.
Yeah, the hair and makeup can nap that up a little bit, curl it up, afro it up, baby hair it up. Hey, you got the baby hairs. Got some good damn hair.
Got an interesting
he?
profile, man. I wonder if he's like Ethiopian, maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what is his right here? He does look like he might be a little.
I mean, but then again, he could just be black and just have some soft features.
Montez is like a Latino name, isn't it?
That too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said Ethiopian. That'd be a weird Ethiopian last name. I'm not getting Latin. You know what I mean? But I mean from the name, obviously.
Who suggested this one?
What's his an African American actor of Puerto Rican descent. He's from New York, from Brooklyn.
Yeah, no, that side by side of him and Miles was like, oh well, shit, there he is.
I've never seen him act though, so that'd be my only. Like I've never seen him in anything.
Me either. Gotta come up with it though to be able to, because I think Holland's a good actor personally. I think Holland's a great actor. The tears.
So much better than the last guy.
I know, man. That Toby guy. Sheesh.
No. The last guy before him. Before
Drake Bell. Man, Drake.
know?
He did okay. I mean, that voice acting was pretty spot on though.
The last guy to get multiple films.
Talk your way out of this one.
Right.
Last guy to get
Before him.
films.
Are you talking about the Japanese legend Sue Spider-Man? Him?
Mr. Breakerback. Yeah, girl, you thought I was gonna save you? You're wrong.
Hey, man. Hey. He tried.
Oh, he tried, all right.
He tried. He cried. He cried, man. He was hurt. Andrew crying in that film. I don't even give a damn about Gwen dying. It was Andrew's acting that brought me to tears.
Listen to this sycophant, y'all. He didn't give a damn about the girl that died. He just wanted to see the emotion from Andrew Garfield. Jesus.
Andrew's acting. Now, I'll tell you this. That Uncle Ben, that makes me laugh.
Uncle Ben,
When he says Uncle Ben, that makes me laugh. But the Gwen scene, man, that is like, where's this man's Oscar? That was an Oscar-worthy performance.
Please stop. Cut it the fuck out, okay?
That was almost as good as I Am Queen of the Most Powerful Nation in the World. That was really as powerful in drawing as that.
You got Josh queued up, chill. I think Darius getting sleepy. He's getting
Let me answer
sleepy.
JW. Killmonger might be the best villain. I got Thanos above him, and then I'd really have to think about like High Evolutionary and Loki.
Ultron.
No, I got Killmonger above Ultron.
You got Killmonger above Ultron?
Yeah. Comic wise though, nah, he's not really up there. And also, he was wrong. T'Challa was right.
Hey man, y'all better go back and rewatch Amazing
No,
Spider-Man.
I will go back and rewatch Tick Tick Boom all day. I am not watching Amazing Spider-Man ever for any reason.
That is crazy.
Putting myself through that.
That is
nonsense.
wild, bro. I just rewatched that really not too long ago.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Wild. Great movies. Man.
I don't think I can think of a movie that I hated Jamie Foxx in worse than Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Like I think I hated him more in that film than I've ever hated him in any other project.
Hey, y'all. Hey, I'm telling you, y'all can hate it. That's fine. Say what you
hate
want.
Jamie Foxx in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, you hate it.
I did, but my love for Andrew in there just really it trumps all the bad that happens. When he has the fire hat on and he's putting out the fire with that is so Spider-Man. That is like a straight out comic panel. You're only getting that with Andrew.
And when he's like 6'4" and towering over the people who's supposed to be bullying him, that's so Peter Parker, right?
Where did you give
So
him those
Peter Parker.
extra 5 inches? 6'4"?
I don't know how
Okay.
tall he is, but he's definitely Abercrombie and Fitch model type height.
Nobody wanted to see Peter getting bullied like that all the time. Like, hey, Flash, you want this basketball? Come get it. Yeah.
He's tall enough. He's
Hey.
tall enough.
different reality, Peter. Different reality, Peter. It's a little taller.
Oh man, Cornelius, are you a damn Andrew lover too?
He is.
That's unfortunate for you both.
Reminder to everyone. Are we done? We're done. We're
Yeah. Wrap it up.
Unless we want to continue on more Andrew.
Nah.
Please stop it.
Oh,
Our buddies are live right now. They're called the Spoiler Kings, and you can find them. They're attached in the live chat right now. They're talking about Mahershala Ali, Blade, also just like we were. So give them a listen, give them a follow, give them a subscribe.
Before you do that, I'm sorry. Before you do that, I just want to add out there, if anyone is out there dealing with any type of anything personal or mental health, Andrew Garfield did just recently touch on that with Elmo, so you can go watch that.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. That was cool.
Put that out there. He did recently just discuss some of that, and I
R.I.P.
don't know if Toby
mother.
did that or Tom, but I know
R.I.P.
my
to
Spider-Man hung out with Elmo.
R.I.P. to Andrew Garfield's mother, or was it father? Whoever
His
parent he
mother.
was.
His mother.
Yeah. I don't think she'd appreciate being brought out like a prop on Sesame Street.
Hey,
but
that was for children
condolences.
to overcome.
Condolences. Yeah. Okay. Very good for him. Very good for him.
Hey man, I'm just saying, my Andrew hangs out on Sesame Street. Your Spider-Man don't.
That's
Pantheon viewers.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, cut him off. Cut me off.
Hey, Pantheon viewers, we're the Spoiler Kings. Come check us out because we're live right now.
And we are talking about the new trailers. We're reviewing new movies and breaking down the new TV shows.
So once you're done here, just tune into the Spoiler Kings. Come join in the fun.
Hold up, Spoiler Kings. Look, I'm happy for y'all, and that's cool. But a Pantheon stream ain't over until I say it's over, okay? So
that's right,
on that
Josh.
note, we out.